What up? What up? Peace, peace, salute, salute. What's going on, man? I didn't think I was gonna jump on, but I had some motivation to jump on, man. You see what I'm saying? Was good, was good. I was just on my boy BJ's live. Now I'm back on here, man. I haven't been on here for a minute. Salute, salute. Just trying to get my, you know what I'm saying, stuff in order. Just trying to give it a little break too. It's a lot of stuff been going on, a lot of psyops, man. A lot of you know what I'm saying, psychological operations been running through on the mind, on the mental. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hold up, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So what's good with y'all? Okay, so man, just chilling, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Doc Boss was good, was good. Yeah, man, good looking out for getting me motivated, man. You see what I'm saying? Had a little buzz going on, but I'm use this energy. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I got a couple things that's going on, man. DJ didn't get to play that clip. Biden, that Trump clip with him talking and basically had those billionaires in his White House, and they was talking about how much money that they gained. It's all insider trading. You see what I'm saying? From Nancy Pelosi to Marjorie Taylor Greene to what's the name? Trump. I mean, it's all. It's just I'm gonna point this out. You know what I'm saying, to everybody real quick. I'm gonna share this out too. I want to point this out how and just show y'all and just break it down, man. You see what I'm saying? How this is all a game. This is all insider trading. You see what I'm saying? I mean, insider trading on the economy too, because sorry about that, damn it. On the economy, because you figure, excuse me, hold up, y'all. Yeah, because you figure, you know, at the end of the day, the rich is going to get and gain tax breaks. You see what I'm saying? So when the rich gains tax breaks, you see what I'm saying, and whatever kind of tariff or any kind of tax that you're giving on you, basically it's basically it's distributing the wealth from the rich to the poor. You see what I'm saying? This is not Robin Hood, and what kind of way are we talking about? You see what I'm saying? We could break this down in a couple of different kind of ways if you really think about it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this could be, you see, the tariff thing could also be to you know, they drive, you know what I'm saying, everything down to a point where there's a recession or a depression, to where Biden can let his billionaire buddies buy stuff for super duper cheap. You see what I'm saying? This could be isolating the United States from the rest of the you see what I'm saying, global economy. This could be a couple of different kind of things. You know what I mean? I'm looking at this from a couple of different angles. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely a self sabotage movement. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm on it though, man. I'm on it. So let's here we go. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? You see me saying here we go? Okay, let me see. I still got some tabs open. So let's talk about this Metcalf thing though. Excuse me. Why am I talking about Biden right now? All right, so this Metcalf thing, right? So BJ sent me something, you see what I'm saying, and certain things to where this thing, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, like this is a psyop, I think, in my opinion. But I'm still gonna play, you see what I'm saying, and play commentary to it, and I'm still gonna give y'all my opinion. Well, it's a psyop, but at the same time, but this right here still sparks real animosity. This sparks real emotions. This sparks real divisiveness. It sparks real, you see what I'm saying? Hatred in the minds of people, man, in the hearts of people. So, I mean, that's the thing too. That's what these psyops and that's what these operations do. You see what I'm saying? All right, so hold up. So let me play. Hold up. Let me get into this real quick. Do I play my what's the name real quick? Hold on. All right, so let me see. So he sent. Wait, BJ, you sent me. Hold up. It was an article, right? This ain't the. This is the article. This is not the. What's the name? Let's see. Where's the video at? You got the video? Yeah, I think he left this out. You got the video? Hold up. Let's see. Let me see. I'll get the what's name right now. Let's see. Oops. All right, so let me play something real quick. Fair use. Okay, so these people right here, you know what I'm saying? So this is basically like a Black Lives Matter organization type thing. You see what I'm saying? So they're basically the ones that are pushing and funding the money for Carmelo's you know, for his side, while you see what I'm saying, there's funding on the right on the other side. It's basically all a play, you feel me?
Real quick,
I'm gonna go into the
I want to start off by saying,
I'm gonna go into a couple of
real
people's
quick,
commentary.
that my comments are represented today by the Next
I want
Generation
to
Action
play
Network
how certain people
that have been working with the Anthony family from the advocacy standpoint. I'm not the Anthony family attorney. Of course, you know the Next Generation Action Network is no stranger to this line of work. And we have been representing families for the last 10 years from an advocacy standpoint to get to the bottom of this situation. The Next Generation Action Network, since the last past week, have gotten thousands of calls regarding this situation and making sure that our organization was involved in this situation because of the growing tension of racism and bigotry involving with the case. I want to start off by saying that I appreciate the deputy chief, John Stretch, from being able to come here to meet with us, as well as the assistant police chief, Darren Stevens. These are two individuals who are currently over the investigation that is currently going on in Frisco ISD. Of course, let's start off in the proper way. I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as president and founder of the Next Generation Action Network, the largest human and civil rights organization in North Texas. Today, we had a meeting with the leadership of the Frisco Police Department to discuss the matter of urgency in escalating racial threats and bigotry and online hate directed at the Anthony family. Let me be clear. The Anthony family cannot
that's the real
leave
thing.
their home.
I mean, you know, whether you know this is an operation, wherever the case is, that's what this is made to do. Whether it's a test or whatever the case is, people fail the test, especially a lot of white people, because y'all is doing exactly what they want y'all to do and reacting to exactly how they want you to react and to how they think that you're gonna react. You see what I'm saying? You would to threaten this family and to do this and that to this family. It's interesting. You see what I'm saying? So you know, whatever the case is, he died, right? Karmelo Anthony, right? Darren, Metcalf, right? You see what I'm saying? And it's like y'all don't know none of these, you know, none of the kids and stuff like that. But see what I'm saying? The Kyle Rittenhouse effects. When Kyle Rittenhouse killed those people, you see what I'm saying? It wasn't the same energy. You see what I'm saying? He had self-defense, and it was that, and y'all went with that. But at the same time, when the other way around, and the shoe's on the other foot, and when it's actually somebody that's a non-black person, a white person that kills somebody that's white, then it's crazy how self-defense goes out the window. That's what I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Oh no, I'm just going
because of the growing threats towards their safety. Their personal address has been exposed. They have received graphic and racist threats. They are being targeted with violence and simply because their child is in the center of this tragedy. We are here just for justice. This justice must be fair and impartial and protected from biases. We cannot allow racism and bigotry to divide us. We cannot allow white America to decide when and how Black people can speak up against oppression. We do not pull the race card, we live it. Yes, this case is a tragedy. Anytime a child is lost, we mourn as a community. Our heart goes out to the family of Austin Metcalf, but we do not erase the right of the Anthony family to be protected and heard and treated with dignity. That's why today we spoke with the Frisco Police Department leadership to demand answers. We need to know what steps are being taken to protect the Anthony family, the strategies of the threats that's being spreaded, and how Frisco Police is ensuring that Karmelo Anthony's Sixth Amendment right, a fair and public trial, is fully respected. Let's make it clear that absolutely we have the full permission and trust of the Anthony family and authorized for the Next Generation Action Network to speak today.
But see, the thing is, that town, that place where they live it's only a small percentage of Black people. You see what I'm saying? So you already know it's going. You know what I mean? Talking about getting in actually arranging him getting the jury of his peers. That's going to be one thing. See what I'm saying? That's another thing they don't talk about. But the thing is, they for one, man, you know what I'm saying? I think they were saying 17 or something like that is the age of consent or something like that in Texas, so he's considered adult. But it's still at the same time, that's a crazy amount of money, $1 million bail. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. I don't think they got that Carbie and Fitch guy got $1 million bail, and he's out. You see what I'm saying? So you give a kid $1 million bail. You see what I'm saying? But this rich millionaire guy that actually, you know what I'm saying, was doing stuff to these men, you give him a less than $1 million bail. It's just, this is just to send a message. It's just really to just to show you to, and just to show other people besides so-called Black people how to treat us, or how it's okay for us to be criminalized and demonized, and put those stereotypes out about us to the point where, you see what I'm saying, when you treat us a certain way, then it's validated. You see what I'm saying?
Today in this meeting, we talked about and was able to give them graphic images of what this family has had to deal with for the last couple of days. It is sad. These graphic images not only display children with knives, Black children with knives stuck in their head, the Anthony family's address. We saw when this case first started that people were putting online that when Section 8 was accepted into the Frisco neighborhood, that became the lead of the downfall of Frisco. We have saw so many different hateful images, just hateful things. And the Next Generation Action Network wants to reiterate that Karmelo Anthony has a right to a fair trial, unbiased, and removed of racial hate and bigotry.
But see, it's already too late. You know what I'm saying? It's already he's already going to be tried in a court of public opinion anyway. So I just wanted to share that just to show y'all who these people are, and just to show you that this thing might be controlled, PSYOP, Black Lives Matter type organization. We all know Black Lives Matter was funded by George Soros and stuff. So definitely a leftist type. You see what I'm saying? So let me play some commentary, man, on this whole thing real quick, man. What's the name? Oops, skip this. Oh, shit. All right. Hold up, y'all. All right. Let's see. Well, you know what is interesting about this whole thing is how Carmelo Anthony just got Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, just got put into the Hall of Fame. And it's interesting how this is going on with this Carmelo Anthony. It's kind of interesting. What a coincidence, right? All right, so let's listen to these dudes, man. These Sambo dudes. Let's listen to Officer Tatum, how this dude, his commentary, man. Look at how these dudes sell people. Let's look how these people are selling people out, man. It's crazy. All right, listen to this dude commentary. Look how these people sell it. You know, these people are just agents, man, of the people. I'm not, you know, I can have conservative values or conservative ways or whatever the case is, but I'm not going to put, you know, go against my people like that. I'm not going to make a mockery of my people. I'm not going to cape for white people or anything like that, or Europeans or anything like that, or any kind of other race against my people. I just think then that shows that I don't have no integrity and I don't have no morals, man. I don't have no respect. You see what I'm saying? Don't take me seriously. That's how I take it. That's how I look, you know.
We as a people don't feel as
fair use, fair use.
it's right what they're doing to this young black man right here.
If there's any human being in the United States of America that deserves presumption of innocence right now today, it has to be Karmelo Anthony.
For them to raise $150,000 for this kid is insane to me. And what it speaks to, in my opinion, is the racism that's involved in this.
See this. I would, to be honest with you, I would never agree with people like this. I don't see what this dude, but I get it. He gets paid. I guess he was an ex-cop. So you already know that his narrative is biased and sprung when it comes down to so-called black people anyway. He already has a certain outlook and a certain way he looks at and judges anyway. You see what I'm saying? So people like this already, their mind is already compromised. You see what I'm saying? And I already look at people like this and I have no respect for them. And I can't take them seriously. So I kind of see where this kind of stuff comes from. You see what I'm saying? The people like this, it's not even just butter biscuits. People like this actually get money and funding from Europeans because you see what I'm saying? They're at the lens and at the guys to the point where it's like the same Europeans feel or they can't, you see what I'm saying, say the certain things about so-called black people that he is without being perceived and called a racist. So that's exactly what this is.
Because if that young black boy would have killed another black boy at a track meet, we wouldn't hear about it.
No, but see, that's the whole point. Then that's the news. That's the news media doing that. So what you mean? I mean, you kind of prove my point. If we wouldn't hear about it because the mainstream media does stuff like that. It's on the mainstream media. Who puts out the stories? Who puts out the narratives in the news? Is the media. I mean, what is this guy talking about? People could be so smart and so dumb at the same time. Let's go.
There would be no GoFundMe. There would be no, oh, we need to stand with him. It's because he killed a white kid. And it's a race war underneath the surface of our country, mostly projected.
Guess who started that? If the government, if the white government is running this country, then who? And if the Creed people are at the face of the media, then who's projecting and running these narratives? Who is pushing this? I mean, this guy makes it seem like black people have some kind of so much power in the media, so much power. You see what I'm saying? Globally and financially, to the point where we could manipulate and you see what I'm saying? And make people, you see what I'm saying, go by our agendas and our narratives if we want them to, just based off, you know what I'm saying, paying them off like the European can. And I mean, people like this right here, man, this is the true meaning of race bait. They talk about so-called black people and stuff like that be race bait when they talk about slavery, when they talk about reparations, whatever the case is. But this dude right here is plain to see and clearly race bait. You see people like this get paid by the Europeans to talk about this BS. It's BS, to be honest with you, man. This type of stuff they talk about is BS. It's not factual. You know, they go by these BS statistics. You see what I'm saying? That some European made up. I mean, of course, you see what I'm saying, these opposite groups than you are going to make narratives about you, negative narratives about you. I mean, I don't understand. But see, I go by everything is psychological. You know?
rejected by black people.
That's crazy, man. I don't see how people watch the show, but I mean, I can see how white people watch the show.
Hey, y'all, we all know this, but I'm going to remind you.
This commentary is going to be very short.
The American dream is under attack. Hardworking patriots like you.
Shoot, there is no American dream. You know, you want to call the American dream is when because you was asleep when you was thinking about the shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And he talking about patriots. Yeah, this dude sounds like, you know, he's just pushing that European narrative. But see, it's funny because patriots, why could patriots only be perceived as white people? Europeans, right? But this dude is corny. His whole commentary is corny. Anything he's talking about is projecting. It's deflecting. You know, he's looking at it things as a lens, at the lens of the eyes of a police officer. I don't know if he's still a cop. You see what I'm saying? But it's funny because I bet you, you know, corrupt cops on his beat, he never, you know what I'm saying? If the non-snitch code went in full effect, you talking about this patriot, this and that, but I bet you seen your partner, you done went outside plenty of people's heads. You done beat up and shot plenty of people, right? Unjustified. Because this dude talking about some patriot. Let's go. Straight up sellout, man.
Are being crushed under mountains of debt, credit cards, personal loans.
And that's the government, though. Oh, yeah, you putting this, so that's on black people? Because people are getting crushed by debt and personal loan and higher rent. Isn't that on the government? Isn't that government policy? People like this project, and I don't. But see, that's all police do, project. They don't ever take accountability. Right? Let's go.
Medical bills, and why? It's because creditors love debt. That's why they want you stuck in high interest traps. They want you drowning in collections and skyrocketing payments, because when you're broke, you're the person who did the
over there, dude. This dude over here plugging debt collecting companies over here. That's interesting. That's so funny. That's hilarious.
Killing people are feeling sorry for him and raising money for him.
So I just want to talk about this situation right here. There's people on Twitter and Facebook everywhere trying to get his GoFundMe reported shut down because we as a people don't feel as it's right what they're doing to this young black man right here. Keep advocating, keep doing y'all lives, keep reposting, and keep doing what y'all doing. This baby is gonna come home no matter what, and he's gonna have the best legal team to get him home safely as well. They trying to get this boy under the jail, destroying his reputation and everything, trying to make it seem like he a thug. This child is a 3.7 GPA student, has 21 football scholarships and everything. He had friends and family, all of that. This boy had something to lose. Learn to keep your hands to yourself and you on FAFO, period.
If there's any human being in the United States of America that deserves presumption of innocence right now today, it has to be Karmelo Anthony. Hands down. He was attacked. There were more of them than him. And his witnesses on their side, plus his brother saying that happened. How is that a self-defense? All right. And then proportional use of force. It wasn't a multiple Pokemon. It was a singular Pokemon, and he ran.
It's two men, 200 or more pounds over you. Two of them come and mess with you, and you're trying to defend yourself. What are you going to do? You're going to do what Karmelo did. As of right now, the media is trying to do everything in their power to make him seem like he's an evil person. Y'all did not see this man repeatedly. That's my thoughts on this.
Let me show you very clearly why I think this is a problem and why this is a racial issue. If you don't know what I'm talking about the incident that happened at the track meet. Karmelo Anthony, with a K, decided that he was going to stab a kid in a conflict under a tent. There's a few things that we need to talk about here. One, I can legally almost represent this case and show you that Karmelo Anthony will be found guilty. It has nothing to do with his skin color as far as I'm concerned, because I do not care. I'm black. and I got my family white. So I got black and white sides.
Wow. How did I know he was with a white chick? Look, see, this is the thing with people like this. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it don't matter who you with, you know what I'm saying? Love who you love, whatever, you see what I'm saying? I'm not advocating, you know what I'm saying? You know, I got people in my family that are, you know what I'm saying, different shades and mixtures and all that, right? But at the same time, it's just not a surprise that this dude right here is, you know what I'm saying, not with a black woman. You see what I'm saying? Look how he talks so bad down to and about his own people. You see what I'm saying? Of course, he probably doesn't think highly of black women. You know what I'm saying? Because you tell you don't think highly of his own self as a so-called black man. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just like 2 + 2 is equal 4 zone. 2 is equal 4 over here when it comes down to people. It's just all psychological. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have a lot of, and you hold on and harbor a lot of self-hate. You project a lot of self-hate. You see what I'm saying? That's basically what that is. But let's listen to the rest of this.
I don't give a flying flip. What I care about is justice. What I care about what's right. What I care about is the law.
And see, damn, dude, I hate when people say that. See, that's my stance. That's a damn lie because that's my stance. I care about what's right. I care about what's justice. And it's not right because, you know, like I said, I think this is a psyop, but whatever. This is a psyop, but at the same time, the perception is real and the reaction is real. You see what I'm saying? Because people don't know how to really equate and break down the fact and know when they're hit with the psychological operation. But that's neither here or there. But at the same time, you see what I'm saying? I know something was right, and I know it was a psyop too. So that's another story. But look, the perception is real. It's not right and wrong because guess what? If somebody gives you a warning, you see what I'm saying? And if you perceive to put their hands and says not to put their hands on it, you perceive to put their hands on them anyway, that's not premeditated. So I don't know why all these people keep talking about some premeditated. You see what I'm saying? All long, drawn out plan to just stab this other student. That's not how that works. You see what I'm saying? If you give somebody fair warning not to touch you, and if they proceed to touch you anyway, what is that? You see what I'm saying? Now at this point, you're in defense mode. So it's funny when it's a white suspect, you see what I'm saying? Or somebody that's not so-called black with that same stance, then they'll be like, oh, I feel for my life. Bam, jury acquits them. And then, you know what I'm saying? And the court of public opinion is automatically gonna deem them innocent because they're white and because it's a big bully black man that they face fear from. Oh my God. Come on, man. Honestly, if y'all white and y'all don't see through this, then that you're the problem. And your mind is not sharp enough, and you don't have the mental fortitude to see that this is a problem. And I mean, racial psyops are going to keep being ran on you forever, man, for the rest of your life. If you can't see through these plays like this, let's go.
And for them to raise $150,000 for this kid is insane to me. And what it speaks to, in my opinion, is the racism that's involved in this. Because if that young black boy would have killed another black boy at a track meet, we wouldn't hear about it.
But that's the whole point. Like I said, that's the media. Duh. So basically, if we wouldn't hear about it, guess what? See, this dude is still so dumb because that doesn't make sense what you're saying, bro. You're basically proving black people's point of us being discriminated against and the law being two-sided instead of just one-sided. I mean, one-sided instead of two-sided. You see what I'm saying? Because you just basically saying we wouldn't hear about it. So basically saying that the law and the media would desensitize the story if it was black on black. What a dummy. You don't have the intelligence to mess with people like me. Let's go.
There would be no GoFundMe. There would be no, oh, we need to stand with him. It's because he killed a white kid. And it's a race war underneath the surface of our country, mostly projected by black people against white folks. So when a black kid do something wrong, black people rally around the kid that did something wrong because they don't want the white boy to be right. They don't want white people to be right.
Bro, that doesn't make any sense. The mainstream media and everything in this America establishment is based on white everything. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Just saying something like that is ridiculous, man. It's stupid. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make no sense. You have no standing on what you're saying at that point. Like, come on, man. Now you just saying stuff like that and being disingenuous just to prove your point. You see what I'm saying? He's just doing that just to prove his point. Just to get these European followers of his, just to get them going Google Gaga over his talking points.
I want white people to be on television saying that this black kid is a thug. They don't care that the black kid. I mean, I think that some of them do care, but I think that they're avoiding the.
Thug. How is this dude a thug? Didn't he just say he was a 4.0 honor roll student that was a football player? How is this dude a thug? See, y'all full of it, man. This dude is full of it. Disingenuous and quick to discredit somebody else that's black. But if this was the other way around, this dude would not be doing that. Kyle Rittenhouse, he wasn't doing that. He wasn't doing that with Daniel Penny. Come on now.
Point that the black kid actually took the life of somebody unnecessarily.
But nobody.
Let me give you a couple.
Nobody's not saying that was a bad thing though. What's wrong with this guy? Nobody's not saying that he was not in the wrong for that. What's wrong with this dude? Don't try to make it seem like black people are desensitized to the situation. So-called, my bad, other black people that think different from you, my bad. You're the one that's desensitized from the situation. That's the funny part about it.
Factors here, which would bolster the legal argument that I have. I do believe that Karmelo Anthony will be found guilty if he goes to court. I think he's going to do a plea deal because he knows he's dead to rights. His attorneys know he's dead to rights. According to Texas State Penal Code, he will go to jail and be sentenced probably more harshly than he would if he do a plea deal. I think he's going to do a plea deal, and I think in the plea deal, they're going to give him manslaughter charges, and he's only going to do 5 or 8 years in prison, which is a travesty. If he goes to trial, this is how he loses. Unequivocally. In the state of Texas, they charged him with first-degree murder. First-degree murder is when you murder somebody intentionally or knowingly causing the death of another person. That's subsection 1.
How the hell? See, that's BS. All right, let's play the rest of this, and I'm gonna go into something else. But how could it be first-degree intentionally? What do you mean intentionally? So why would there be a second-degree murder then? So how does that work? So second-degree murder would be not knowing that you killed somebody and then killing somebody? That's some bullshit. These Republican states is full of shit too. All these states, laws is all full of shit. And the fact that there's different laws in different states and different, is all bullshit. No common law. Let's go.
So section 2 is intending to cause serious bodily injury and commit an act clearly dangerous to human life that results in somebody's death. They got him on the first statute because he knowingly and intentionally decided to poke the boy in the heart with a knife. The second,
like this motherfucker is some kind of ninja or some kind of prison inmate to know exactly he was gonna poke him exactly in the heart. Oh, like you know what I'm saying? Like this motherfucker's Rambo or something. Come on, dude. Like we don't. But see, I get it. This guy gets paid by white people, so let me keep going.
Second statutory claim here, which they can get him on as well, is intending to cause serious bodily injury. If you didn't intend to kill the guy, but you should know that stabbing somebody in the heart could cause serious damage, serious bodily injury to that person, and is clearly negligent and is dangerous to human life. They got him again. Here's another one. Commit or attempt to commit a felony other than manslaughter during which they perform an act clearly dangerous to human life that causes death. Let me add to how that's a problem.
All right, you know what? So let me go to what's his name real quick. Let me go. We'll go to the Fox Soul bed witches. You know what I'm saying? Them burnt broads. Let me see what they got to say about this situation. Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to find this mother. Damn, I can't find it. That's interesting. All right, let's play this. Shout out to
Had that putter for way too long.
made it.
You know what's better than that trusty old putter? Sinking putts. Welcome to Scottsdale. 9 insert models with a super stroke grip to fit your game. You know what's better than sweet memories? Sinking putts.
Enemy battleship sunk. Enemy battleship.
Shout out to introverted
A
rock.
couple kids were walking back from the field house
Are
of the
you-
middle school because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school, and we were saying hello to old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I've never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is when he's just brothers, just having my back. And things started getting more like higher intensity. And the kid said some like aggressive stuff, like reckless stuff. Also try to handle the problem. And
And then, Austin was always one to step up. He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is like because they have personal items there.
a lot of stuff gets stolen.
And then look, you notice these people be crisis actors, right? Because you notice there's never no tears. Why? How come there's no tears? Why is it that you're supposed to be? Why would you be doing interviews? Your son just died. Your family members just died. You're going to jump and do an interview. Very interesting. They got the other twin out there. But wasn't you involved in the crime?
And just like that, just precautions and stuff. And our coaches always told us don't let, other schools, mess with our stuff. Just sit around our tent area. And we set that up for the girls' track every meet we had. So it's just like, he knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was it's just a tragedy what happened.
And then what happened, Austin? After your brother stepped up, what happened then?
He stepped up over there.
Come on, bro. You sound like you making this up, brother. Sound like it takes you. Why is it taking you to? Come on, you was right there, right? You was jumping on the dude too. Why does it take you so long to figure out the facts, figure out what happened, man?
Move, got aggressive. He grabbed the bag, and then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see him running down the bleachers, grabbing his chest, and just blood rushing out. He said, he got stabbed. He got stabbed. First, I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do. And then I saw him about to fall.
He got stabbed, man. He was right there, jumping on the kid, right with him.
Over there. I grabbed him. I see this stuff.
Yeah, I understand. Best.
And look, like I said,
no tears. Let's go.
Yesterday, rest in peace to that young man. But on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable. So you telling me the day after the incident, you go on Fox News and tell one version of
exactly. But then, like I said, why would you go on right after that happened? Wouldn't you be traumatized? You wouldn't want to do no interviews. People are full of it, man. Real incidents happen when their family members die. It's not, oh yeah, let me go on fucking Tucker Carlson. It's not how that works. Come on, we gotta think, man.
the story. But the day of the incident, you went on ABC and told a whole different version of the story. Make it make sense. And then you have to sit back and ask yourself, why are these people so eager to tell their side of the story? I mean, you don't see Karmelo's family on TV saying anything. Why the news not talking to them? Make it make sense. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the bullies have to be first to tell their side of the story. The bullies have to control the narrative.
One look way bigger than the other one.
First. And if you pay attention, ABC and Fox News was coaching this young man to tell his story because he can't lie.
That's how you know he's a crisis actor. That's how you know he's a crisis actor. That's how you know he's a crisis actor.
But shit. And when has news outlets became the courtroom? Make it make sense. And then I said, wait, you had media outlets posting negative pictures of Karmelo Anthony. You even had these types of black people.
That's how you know these cases, that's how you know this case is something's up with these cases too, because it's already compromised and it's already going to try. They tried the person in the court of public opinion already anyway. You see what I'm saying? It's already. I mean, that's so. It's how is it? The person's never going to get a fair trial anyway. See, that's how you. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that right there could be seen as a big conflict of interest. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. People ain't that stupid, are they?
Posting those same negative pictures. And like I always tell y'all, in our community, we have some people, our people, they don't like themselves. Our people, they don't like their people. It is what it is. But when it comes to me, I'm riding for my people 100%. Right. But I noticed something. None of them shared this picture of the twins. And how ironic that this is the Instagram page of Austin Metcalf. Let's read it. He said, I dare one of these to show up to the track meet today. It got 667 likes. Make that make sense. Why nobody posted that? Why nobody talking about this? Why is everybody acting like these twins were angels? So now do y'all see the games that the media loves to play when it comes against our people? But this stuff ain't new. Malcolm X been telling us what was going on. Check this out. If you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. So again, this is why I love social media, because we can finally call out the BS and we can finally stand together. And like I told y'all earlier, we have a lot of amongst us, but don't even worry about them. They are not a threat. They love massa. And see. See, they love to paint these Caucasian demons in the perfect light, like they were angels, when everybody else said these twins were known for bullying people, were known for terrorizing people. So I said, wait, let me find something great that Karmelo Anthony did for his people. Check this out. And shout out to Rayon Carter. She said, my heart is shattered. I kept saying the young man looks like the Karmelo who saved Gino's life, which is her son. From the looks of the article, and it's him, and we forever gonna stand with you. May 15, 2021, a day I'll never forget. Really great kid. I can't stand bullies. So I said, wait, did Karmelo Anthony save a kid's life? Check this out. And if you think I'm lying, here's the article.
Interesting.
The water was cloudy and the pool divided into indoor and outdoor sections. Unable to find Gino, Carter asked Karmelo Anthony, 14 of Baton Rouge, to check in a blind spot. He came back from out of the water with my son in his arms, Carter said. Gino, whose lungs had collapsed, was admitted to the intensive care unit and placed on a ventilator. By the following Wednesday, he was off the vent and starting physical therapy. He recovered quickly and is now back home. Turner called Anthony the real hero for rescuing Gino. And look, I'm going to put the article back up, but I didn't know he was from Louisiana. See, it all makes sense. From Louisiana, we're not letting anyone bully us. We go stand on business. So it all makes sense. And see, they won't show you this article. They won't show you that he saved a life at 14 years old, not even thinking twice. But they don't have no problem showing you him holding up a fake gun at 16, 17 years old, him sticking up a middle finger at 17 years old. Bro, we all was 16 and 17 years old. If you go back and post some of the pictures that we took at 16 and 17 years old, all of us would be judged. Make it make sense. And in the comment section, I want y'all to let me know, do y'all notice this? Every time something racist happens towards our people, they gaslight us. Oh, this is not racism. This has nothing to do with black and white. What? See, I'm telling you, these people think we dumb. They think we slow. They think we don't see what it really is. And look, I'm going to keep it 100. I don't care how much gaslighting y'all do towards our people. When you harm our people, we go speak on it. I don't care what you say, because when it's black people, y'all don't mind talking about that. Y'all don't mind making money from black on black crime. Y'all love it. Y'all love those topics. So keep that same energy when you come to my channel, because we let nothing slide. To my people, I'm going to leave the link to the GoFundMe account in my description. This family needs our support. This family needs the best lawyers. So go donate. We got. But before I go, where the black pastors at? Marvin said.
So it's crazy because the dude, Karmelo and them got a new lawyer. The other lawyers quit, I guess, on the case, which is kind of interesting. So he got a white lawyer. So right now, so interesting. I wonder why he quit, right?
He asked for $40,000. He has a church in Fort Worth, Texas. He hasn't said anything about this story. TD Jakes, he has a church in Dallas, Texas. He hasn't said anything about this story. Kirk Franklin, he's from Fort Worth, Texas. He hasn't said anything about this story. I'm tired of these fake ass pastors just getting up there for money, but with some real shit going on in our community, YouTubers have to talk about it. YouTubers have to stand on business. So forget them. Even these celebrities, these fake ass celebrities, they haven't said anything. They haven't shown any support. They haven't donated any money, any large amount of money to help the community. So forget these fake ass celebrities. Also, if you want to ask me, all of them are a part of the CIA. And if you really want to think about it, it's not just Frisco, Texas. We can go to Amarillo, Texas. And I'm going to leave y'all with a short clip after this video. But a few months ago, Felita Bailey, 25 years old, was murdered by a young Caucasian man. And the police found all the evidence. They had video footage. They had witnesses. And guess what? They still set him free. So where's the outrage for her mother? Where's the justice for her mother? Did anyone care about her mother? Tears? Nobody cares. So yeah, free Karmelo Anthony.
Interesting.
And I'm glad you stood on business to protect yourself. I'm hurt that you have to go through this in that racist ass town, but we won't forget you. We won't stop fighting. I'm out.
Amarillo Police Department is still investigating a homicide that occurred during a Labor Day weekend after party. The family of the victim, Felita Bailey, wants justice and answers. ABC 7's Reagan Lopez has that story.
My daughter will be 26. She would have been 26 October 26th of this year.
According to police, officers responded after a fight started that spilled into the street where shots were fired. Felita Bailey and another victim were taken to the hospital where Felita died.
She's been her last moments fighting men.
The first and only known suspect, 22-year-old Dylan Black, was arrested and charged with murder, but was later released due to insufficient evidence. When we spoke with APD Homicide Unit Commander
Interesting how his last name is Black, right? And he killed a black girl?
Under Lieutenant Clements on September 9th, he said they're still waiting on ballistics.
But we want to make sure that we know exactly what happened on that scene 100% before we charge anybody with any kind of.
You know, my thing is with this case with the at the track meet, where's the cameras at? How come there's nobody filmed it or, you know what I'm saying, take a screenshot or anything like that of what happened? It's kind of interesting, huh?
Any kind of a charge that we need.
Clement said there are new leads, but the case is still an ongoing investigation, and not much can be shared. Nearly a month later, and no other arrests have been made.
I just refuse to let my daughter case go unsolved. That's just not gonna happen. I'll fight. I can't even grieve because I have to fight. This is my only child.
The family of Felita Bailey asked witnesses to come forward with any information that might lead to an arrest. In Amarillo, Reagan Lopez, ABC7 News.
Check out Honda's fully electric SUV, the Honda Prologue. Get 296 miles with one charge and home charging installation credits. To get style and space with the Honda Prologue, search your local Honda dealer.
The Padres baseball season is almost here, San Diego, and tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. Visit Padres.com/tickets.
Yeah, man. Hold on real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's just this whole situation is just weird. You see what I'm saying? Damn, I can't find it. Let me see. And then let me see. Judge Joe Brown on the sentencing. You don't come, and then scoring the bail. Wow, $1 million? Let's go, man. See what Judge Joe Brown's take on this. Shout out to Judge Joe Brown. Salute. All right, salute to Dana, Judge Joe Brown. Salute to them. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what they got to say about this real quick.
Lawyer, if you're not a judge, you could give your opinion. So this is not the space to be talking about legal shit if you're not a legal expert. But I do want to talk about what happened, what led up to it, the after effects, and why in the hell people on X and social media, but particularly on X, why is it that, I'm sorry, white people are quick to sit up here and paint a black boy and a black girl in this situation, and they make it into a race thing. They make it into a race thing. And I do stand with Tariq Nasheed is saying the fact is that, okay, y'all motherfuckers wasn't saying this about Daniel Penny. Y'all wasn't saying this about Kyle Rittenhouse. Right. Same goddamn thing with Kyle Rittenhouse. Exactly. Same thing with Daniel Penny. Self-defense. So what's the difference now? And it's like you painted this boy, putting up pictures with him holding a gun and his middle finger up, but then want to put the two twins like they're all golden angels. But then you come to find out there are photos of them acting a fool too. So what is really going on with teenagers nowadays?
That was an airsoft gun. They had pictures with him with an airsoft gun. But my thing is, Texas is an open carry state anyway. So if he had a picture with a gun, what would that matter? It's an open carry state anyway. Anybody can have a gun. You see the psyop? You see how they program your mind with that? Texas is an open carry state. So even if he had a real gun and he was posing with a real gun, what would that matter? Real guns in Texas are legal. It's an open carry state. If you're a certain age, you can have a real gun. That's bullshit. You see that?
I had this discussion. I want to do it under 2 hours, no more than 2 hours, because I have my premiere of my first panel dropping at 9 p.m. on The Real Dana. And we're going to be talking about, should white South Africans be allowed here in the United States to benefit from the Civil Rights Act? So, yeah.
Civil rights?
But anyway.
Civil Rights Act is supposed to be for people in America. That's a dumb, to even say that doesn't even make any sense. For you people to try to debate that the Civil Rights Act, human rights, when we talk, human rights is different. That's international. We talking about civil rights. That's some shit under color of law, American motherfucking statute, right? That has nothing to do with no international. You can't be from another state and benefit off no damn civil rights. Come on. I mean, another country. But I guess that's what they're trying to do with these immigrants, and that's bullshit. That's all a violation of the so-called Constitution. Let's go.
I want to open up the floor. Go ahead, Peter. And I'll go to Carrie, Lovely, and Lloyd. Hello, Lloyd. And please share out this space. Like this space.
Hey, Dana, already tweeted it.
Thank you. And shout out to everybody that's listening on YouTube. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, I appreciate for everybody tuning in. Hope you're having a great weekend. I've been involved in a few spaces in regards to this topic and started digging into the aspect that the defense would be able to bring up as far as this being self-defense in conjunction with stand your ground. Texas does give options related to protection of personal property as well as other individuals as well, and as well as yourself, obviously. And then went into the standards of proportionality and reasonableness, which I think we could bring into the fold here when we have our conversation. So I want to welcome everybody who's in the space and who came. I'm glad you guys are here. Please like, retweet, and bookmark the space so we can push out the algorithm, get more speakers in here, and have a more well-rounded conversation. So I will yield my mic, and I want to welcome the people that are on the panel already and the speakers, Lovely, Lloyd, and Carrie. And I'd like to begin, if we can, with Lloyd, then we'll go to Carrie, and then we'll go to Lovely. So Lloyd, you have the floor.
Okay, so hi everybody. Shout out to everybody. Thanks, Dana, for holding the space. I would ask Dana, and Peter, you can weigh in because you know the whole Rutgers thing. Is why are we saying self-defense and not applying stand your ground? Because they're two different bars legally. So clearly, this situation, and I wasn't there, so I didn't see it, but from everything I have read, and I've been not reading what I see on social media, I've been reading the mainstream media accounts. Everything says that this is a stand your ground case. And so that's one question I would ask you to ask the judge, Dana. And then I would ask him, why wouldn't his defense attorney, Mr. Waypole, why wouldn't he go immediately Monday morning, put in a motion to have the charges dismissed? Because if stand your ground applies here, he didn't commit a crime. Why is he charged?
Style or substance? Or here's another choice. Don't stop until you have everything in the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate. We are perfect.
I mean, that's a good point that the person brought up. Good point. And I know different states, you know what I'm saying, there's different laws in different states, but I know stand your ground, you know what I'm saying, that goes, that's not in just Florida, you see what I'm saying? That's in multiple states, so.
Because somebody died, and it was by the hands of the 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony. So you have to arrest. That's
no, you don't have to.
Why don't you?
What you can do, because you can investigate and
You
find
still have
the
to arrest.
No, you
So
don't.
if that's the case, if that's the case, I don't know where you get this from to where you can't, because if that's the case, I could come and I could run around here and, you know, use violence against someone and use violence against that person, and then you think the cops are not going to arrest me, and then the investigation, it doesn't work. Our criminal justice system does not work that way. Sorry. Well, you made that. Wait, let me finish, because you asked the question. You may disagree, but if somebody do you harm, whether shoot, stab, or whatever, right? And you did it to that individual, especially if that individual died. That individual don't even have to die, but if that individual died, it wasn't like you broke into that person's home. But even if you did break into that person's home and that, you know, and you end up killing that person and you stand your ground, you still have to be put in handcuffs in the cop car and taken down to the precinct and booked. Now the charges may be dropped, but you will get arrested.
Okay, Dana, you are okay. I see the 100%, Peter. However, just because you are put in the back of a police car, even if you are put in handcuffs, does not mean you are under arrest. It means you. Dana, please let me finish. Let me finish.
You're under arrest.
Dana, but the point is, they don't have to arrest you. They can. I'm going to tell you, they can detain you.
For what?
Because you are a person of interest.
Of what? No.
Dana,
Person of interest. Person of interest is me. They don't know who did it, but you may be one of the suspects. He did it. He said he did it, and he said it was self-defense.
Peter, can you jump in here? Peter, can you jump in here?
He is arrested.
Peter, can you jump in?
Lloyd, listen. That is why he has a bell. So but the bell is just set too damn high. But a bell is set, you bail out, and then you proceed with your legal process, with your case and with the investigation. But you will be arrested because you took a knife, you stabbed someone, that person died. You're going to get arrested. You're going to get a bail, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, Dana, if I could jump in, Lloyd. So I practice martial arts, and my teacher's former law enforcement, 26 years, and he tells everybody in the class, if you do serious physical bodily injury to somebody, I don't care, it could be as little as you snapping their knee in half with a kick that you placed, and they're not able to walk. When the police come, you're going to get arrested. You're going to get processed and taken down to the station because of the serious bodily injury that happened to the other individual. Now, the prosecution team or the prosecutor or the DA will determine whether if there is enough evidence after he reviews from what the police investigation is, whether to present this to a grand jury or not. And in this case, this is going to go to a grand jury. The same as Daniel Penny, the same as there was another individual who had an issue in New York. He stabbed somebody on the train. It went to the grand jury. The grand jury chose not to indict. What's happening now is he's going through that process. I don't even know, I haven't looked it up yet, but if he's even been arraigned, right? Which is a formal reading of the charge.
I'm glad this white dude or whatever, this dude said Daniel Penny, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. The same thing, you see what I'm saying? The Daniel Penny effect. You see what I'm saying? White dude gets off. You see what I'm saying? For killing an unarmed black dude, chokes him out, creeps up behind him. The black dude doesn't hit or kill or bother nobody. He doesn't hit nobody. He doesn't put his hands on nobody, but yet this white dude felt it was okay to sneak up from behind him and choke him out and kill him. You see what I'm saying? The grand jury doesn't indict him, but it's just like, it's funny because it's the other way around when it's somebody that's black. And it's not the same energy. And it's funny because all these white people and a lot of these conservatives, you know, was going Google Gaga over Daniel Penny and going on his side, but yet meanwhile, this is going on and it's not the same for this black man. You see them, or black boy, you see what I'm saying? That did the same and stood his ground. I just think it's interesting, man. But we all know this stuff is, you already know. I think it's a psyop, like I was saying.
So he, at this stage in the process, he's been arrested. The judge has set a bail, the assignment judge that this has went to.
Let's be honest.
He now is challenging the bail, saying that it is ridiculously high. He's going to try to probably
from the attorney. It says the attorney for Karmelo Anthony, the 17-year-old accused of murdering football star Austin Metcalf at a Texas track meet, insists he doesn't have any reason to think the killing wasn't in self-defense and will request the teen's bond be lowered from $1 million. So Anthony has been hauled up at the Collin County Jail on the 7-digit bond since he was charged with fatal stabbing of Metcalf, who's also 17, after briefly meeting with the teenager. So so the attorney is saying his number one priority is to get that bond lowered and get him bailed out.
And Dana, let me just add in, the nature of the high bail a lot of times can be due to the charges. They charged him with first-degree murder, which means with malice aforethought, meaning that he planned and it was premeditated in his actions. He planned it and he intended for the result, the death, to occur. And so that is why that bail is the way it is as well. They do that They do that a lot of times in the federal system as well. They make a bail package $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million, $5 million.
When I spoke to the judge, he said that, you know, he's starting to see in the criminal justice system, you know, these judges, they're giving these astronomical bails as also like a form of punishment. They're just slapping the highest amount that they could without. And that's not fair due process, basically. Like,
that is the point I'm making.
Lloyd, can you wait? I'm sorry,
exactly the point I'm making.
Lloyd, can you just mute off for 1 second? 1 second. And so, Welpo, I guess that's the name of his attorney, also confirmed he has requested a hearing next week to lower Anthony's bond, which could raise the chances.
But why is his bail higher than the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch, though? Why is his bail higher than his? The guy from Abercrombie and Fitch, he got bail. He's out. He didn't essayed like 15 men. You see what I'm saying? But this dude gets $1 million bail. See, that lets you know this is a psyop, and that lets you know too that this is conditioned to put the black man as the criminal, and put, you know what I'm saying, and making other races and making other people see us as criminals. I'm telling you. Then they put this in other case law. I'm telling you, man, this is all script, man.
Of his pretrial release. So there's still a lot of information coming in. I know other people probably have more information than others. So go ahead, Lloyd.
So that's exactly the point that I'm making. The fact that they charged him, it wasn't the police that charged him, it was the prosecutor.
Facts.
And based on the evidence that has been put out in the public, witness statements and all of that stuff, People Magazine, New York Times, blah, 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 all of them have said that was not a murder. It was self-defense. However, one of the arguments under self-defense is stand your ground. Not all states have stand your ground. The difference between the two is it's self-defense, you have a duty to retreat. If you can get away, then you shouldn't kill the person. Don't kill the person if you can get away. Understand the stand your ground doctrine, you do not have that duty to retreat. You simply have to have a reasonable belief that your property, your body, your life, whatever you want to say, was at risk, was in danger.
So when you didn't you just answer your own question now when you broke down the difference between stand your ground and self-defense?
Right. Okay, so the question becomes, how is it murder if I have two? Because remember, understand your ground, I don't have a duty to retreat. So I don't have a duty to run away or try and get away. Understand your ground. So if 200 plus, I'm 5'8", 150 pounds. Two over 6'4", over 200-pound people approach me. I'm sitting, they're standing, they put their hands on me. They take my property and start stomping it. How is that not a reasonable threat to my body? So why was he charged?
All right, so
not because that's what the question is, not what they do. The question in this case is, why did they do it?
Lloyd, it goes up. It goes to issue. Go ahead.
1 second. Like I said, when I spoke to the judge, he said felony murder if you're using self-defense. And he said, it sounds like it's self-defense. I said, well, the 17-year-old boy said it was self-defense. But you have to investigate. Everyone, you have to have evidence. So it's felony murder if it's self-defense. And you said you asked the question, why is it murder? Because someone died. Felony murder is a legal doctrine that holds individuals liable for murder if a death occurs during the commission of a felony, even if they didn't intend to kill anyone. He did not intend to kill him. The boy ended up killing.
Dana, what would be the underlying felony?
The boy ended up dying, so it wasn't intentional, which is why it's a murder, because someone died by your hands, but you didn't intend to do it, so it's felony murder.
But what would be the underlying felony, at least according to what you discussed with the judge?
What do you mean underlying felony?
Felony murder means that if somebody dies in the commission of a felony that you are committing, you're the actor committing the felony, and somebody dies as a result of that felony, you are held responsible and you can get hit with felony murder. Everybody, like a bank robbery, if somebody dies while the bank robber or the driver of the car is driving away and they kill someone in a car accident because they were in the commission of a
good point. That's a good point. Interesting question. Good question.
Felony, everybody in the car can be charged. So what is the underlying felony that
but I don't know, because
Karmelo would be charged with?
Nobody knows because did it go in front of a judge? Did you know what I'm saying? Did both parties, the defense and the prosecutor, present their case? Everybody is jumping the fuck ahead. When somebody gets stabbed,
no, Dana, we're not.
Okay, Lloyd, this I guess the first time you've been in my spaces. I have to get to other speakers, and I don't like when people jump off the mic. So I came to
damn, Jane ain't no joke, huh?
I'm gonna come back to you. I gotta go to Carrie, Lovely, Shay, Mashon, or Sassy Lady. So just and I need people, please don't jump off your mic when somebody is talking. Everybody's gonna get their fair share.
And if you're on the stage, please put your hand up so we can keep a good order. Carrie is next, then it was Lovely, and then
So
I think it was
again, I said this in the beginning of the space. Nobody up here is a lawyer or a judge. Nobody up here is a legal expert. If you are, that does make a difference. If you are a lawyer, if you are a judge, tomorrow on Monday and Tuesday, Judge Joe Brown will be breaking down this whole situation. But when I spoke to him briefly before I started, because he was not coming on today because he didn't feel like it, he said it sounds like self-defense. And in this case, it should be felony murder. Now, he's going to read the goddamn case and the incident that happened so that he can have more of a extensive, you know what I'm saying, summation or point of view. But at the same time, if it's self-defense, and I guess Texas have stand your ground or self-defense laws, and I guess the 17-year-old knew the self-defense laws because that's the first thing he said, most likely it should be felony murder, and the $1 million bail is too high. And I just want to, and I'm gonna go to Carrie and the other, and I'm gonna be quiet. And I do want to say this though, having this conversation, everyone needs to just keep in mind that a 17-year-old has died, and this is not a laughing matter at all. And I don't care if you pro-black, pro-white, he was still somebody's child, and we have to be respectful of that as well. So
absolutely. Thank you, Dana, and thank you, Peter. Hello, how y'all doing? And hello, everyone else on this space. I'm from Texas, and are y'all talking about, because I feel a little bit in the dark, I wish you would do a synopsis of what happened for self-defense. Are you talking about the two kids on the track meet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but then, okay. How did he get the knife in? If he was, playing track, 17-year-olds, they always go through your shit. I mean, at least the schools I've been to.
He brought the knife with him in his backpack, which he was allowed to do. You're allowed to carry a knife on school grounds as long as it's under 5.5 inches.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, that's news to me.
Wait up, hold up. Why is nobody? Whoa.
Well, that's
obviously the only one that broke that down. Why is none of these these Fox News and these CNNs? These people are liars and they're disingenuous and they're deceivers. Because why is everybody talking about it's illegal and why shouldn't he have a knife on school grounds when it's actually legal in Texas to have a knife on school grounds with you? Wow. I mean, telling you that it's missing a lot of misinformation, a lot of propaganda that they hit you from. A lot of these people on YouTube be agents. I'm telling you.
That's cool then. But I don't know what all that happened. The only thing I heard was
mega media corporations is agents and CIA too.
Was they got into a scuffle, and one kid took the other kid's backpack, and then the other kid stabbed the other kid. But anyway, I didn't hear about this outcome just now, and this is the first I've heard of it. I guess I've been away from the news a little bit, but that's awful for both people here. These are two 17-year-old kids. Sure, the mother lost her child. It's horrible. This horrible. I can't even imagine going through something like that in my life.
Right.
But then you don't want to ruin that other child's life, wasted in jail. I mean, that's terrible. So, I don't know. I just don't know. And listening this, for the first time, I'm on social media, but not that much. But only thing I heard on there, I didn't hear about the outcome. And that is
there is no outcome. There is no outcome.
No, I meant the bail.
Oh, okay.
Well, $1 million, shoot. But see, that's how you know there's something not right about the case, too. $1 million is ridiculous. And see, too, like I said, it's the perception. It's the, you know what I mean? It's just all to paint a certain picture and a narrative about about black men, period, and black people. You see what I'm saying? And it's when they put you to the ringer and run you to the ringer and stuff like this in this justice system. This right here is supposed to, basically supposed to co-sign that.
I meant the bell. Excuse me. I better watch
Feel
my
me?
words.
Well, Carrie, let me go to Lovely because
All
I
right,
know
salute,
other
salute,
people
Dark Boss
have
man.
been keeping up to date with this case. So
Oh yeah,
we'll get some
sure.
more
But
information on it.
thanks.
Yeah. So go ahead, Lovely.
I'm gonna make it quick. Peace to everybody. Hey Dana. Hey Peter. It is a super fucking tragedy. Excuse me, I keep cursing. I'm sorry, Dana. It is a tragedy.
I'm
What
gonna
happened?
play the Judge O'Brien a little while.
And
I'm gonna go
even,
to another topic.
I don't know you, Carrie, but questioning why he had a knife is, I think, a part of the problem. I think we're focusing on the wrong thing. And the two young men, the twin boys, they were known bullies. That's number one. Number two, he didn't just take his backpack. He also smashed his phone, which I did see somewhere. I don't know how true it is, Dana. I don't know if you saw it, that a statement was made by the police department, who also kind of like co-signed these details. And so what I'm hoping, even with the bill, I definitely hope that gets dropped. But I know like in New York, we have something called like a top charge. So if you get like a top charge and they can't meet the requirements of that to actually like convict you, then you could be acquitted. So I'm hoping the murder charge, even though it possibly should be like manslaughter, I don't know Texas law. I'm just hoping that something like that would happen. So you could correct me if I'm wrong though.
They could always file new charges, right? So they could drop the first degree if they want to. The state can do whatever they want, and they always do whatever they want, right? So the prosecutor will be the one who decides what charges ultimately stick, what they're going to bring to the grand jury. So we're at a preliminary stage right now. I don't even think he's been arraigned officially. Once that does happen, there'll be decisions on charging. They'll review any additional evidence or any witnesses or from their investigation, and then that will be presented to the grand jury for them to decide whether to indict or not indict.
Mm-hmm. Shay Mashon.
All right, so let me. Okay, so shout out to Dana. I played you a lot of this. All right, let me go into Zach Hubbard real quick a little bit, and let's go into these tariffs. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Shout out to Dana. Check out her channel. You feel me? Hmm.
Rush deliveries cost extra.
Employers see tons of resumes every day and don't have time to carefully review them all, which means that one tiny...
Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Saturday, April 12th, 2025, the anniversary of the American Civil War beginning on this day in 1861. And remember, today is the 102nd day of the year on the Gregorian calendar, named after the Pope at the time it was implemented by the Jesuit priest Christopher Clavius. And it's interesting because another Jesuit priest, Father Amiot of France, where the Jesuits are from, he republished the text Art of War, and that's the reason it's actually famous, the Sun Tzu Art of War. Really, the only reason that text is known about is because of the Jesuit priest Father Amiot. And of course, in Gematria, Art of War equates to 102, which is interesting because so does World War. You might recall how big that number was, not only in the American Civil War, but also the Pearl Harbor attack, also the War on Germs, known as the War on C-19. You might recall that from the War on C-19 being declared to the War on Ukraine happening, that was exactly 102 weeks later, et cetera, et cetera. And with regards to today's headlines, smartphones and computers exempt from Trump's tariffs. Again, this is a trade war by the numbers. And of course, it's Jesuit-educated Donald Trump leading the trade war. But really, all this trade war has been doing is causing the...
And the thing is, too, this is basically, they're going to keep, you know what I'm saying, things exempt from the tariffs, right? That are going to keep you dumbed down and keep you busy and distracted, like cell phones and computers. It's that simple. and to keep the manufacturer and keep them rich and keep the billionaire buddies rich. I'm telling you, it's all about the money. It's all a play. Just like Tesla, they have Tesla plants. 50% of Teslas are made in China. Y'all getting played. Y'all know that, right? We all getting played. It's all a game. It's all, you know what I'm saying? It's all psyops. Trade war. That sounds like a psyop.
The market to fall and rise based on the tweets of the chump. And what that's doing is the people at the top who rig the system are making a killing when the market goes down and
facts.
Up, and it's giving everyone else a heart attack. And again, just little news stories out of nowhere. Days ago, the media was telling you to rush out and buy all your tech gadgets before the tariffs got implemented. Now it's announced there's not going to be any tariffs on the tech gadgets. And I no doubt this is causing a wave of consumerism for the moment. My neighbor just down the block went out and bought 2 new cars. I'm sure a lot of people are doing the exact same type of stuff right now with all the uncertainty. But yeah, a game is being played with us. A game is being played with us. And the game is based in numerology. Again, right now, China has 125% tariffs on the U.S. and the U.S. has 145% tariffs on China. Remember, in Gematria, when you run the alphabetic order forwards, numerology is 125. When you run it in reverse, it's 145. And don't forget that Jesuitism equals 125, whereas Catholic equates to 145. And of course, the Jesuits serve the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope. And don't forget, the Jesuits have been in China since the 16th century. Remember, with this uncertainty with the market, just a few days ago, it had its best day in 16 years. And that was after several very terrible days.
Thanks.
But yeah, this is a game that's being played with us right now. And it's why everything is by the numbers. Tariffs 34. It started with 34% tariffs on additional 34% tariffs on the U.S. and China. And then that raised both tariff rates initially to 54% when trade wars 54 like Jesuit order. But anyway, besides all that, the one thing I want you to think about is a lot of things are going to get more expensive, but not technology, at least for the moment. And it's
what does that tell you?
A reminder, in our lifetimes, the only thing that has gotten cheaper is technology. Everything else has gotten drastically more expensive. All other consumer goods, homes, food, everything has escalated in price. But the one thing that has consistently gotten cheaper with time is technology. I remember buying the first computer for my family with my paper route money in the mid-90s. It was a compact Presario. And back when I was a kid and had a paper route, I made about $350 a month, and that was with multiple routes. I had to save up for months, and the computer cost about $2,000. And it wasn't state of the art or anything. It was a middle of the road computer. By today's standards, it's a hunk of junk. By today's standards, you could get a computer for $500 that's at least 10 times what that computer was. For a fraction of the cost, a much better computer. And again, technology is a double-edged sword. It can bring a lot of convenience into our life.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do. Day 1, he would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime because it's 100% free. Day 2, he realizes how clean and clutter-free his browsing experience has.
He's right, though.
But at the same time, the cell phones, they're being used to track our existence. Right. Our data is being measured. Literally, our whereabouts are being tracked. And remember the other big 102 ritual. 102 days before 9/11, 2001, that was the day the U.S. government simulated the attack on the U.S. by Al-Qaeda. And by the way, in Gematria, Al-Qaeda equals 102, like Art of War. But yeah, it was June 1st, 2001. Amalgam Virgo, if you want to look it up, was the simulation of Al-Qaeda attacking the U.S. 102 days before the big day happened. And remember, right after the big day happened, the Patriot Act was passed, where all of a sudden Big Brother was allowed to track your data, your phone calls, your text messages, your emails, your library records, et cetera, et cetera. And that was the same moment in history when everyone was starting to get cell phones.
Thanks.
And the cell phone has evolved a lot into a smartphone with a lot of tracking capabilities, with a lot of data collection capabilities. The point is, they are building a surveillance state, which has been so obvious. And they got to make sure the main tool in the surveillance state is incredibly affordable. You know, that smartphone that you can get for between a few $100s and $1,000 is more than 10 times the compact Presario that I bought in the mid '90s for $2,000. And again, I mean, it shouldn't just be so obvious. Shouldn't it be so obvious? Don't forget when Cooties 19 came around, how we got the stories about how Big Brother was collaborating with Google and Apple to make sure people were following the curfews and not bunching up together too much because the new 5G technology had rolled out. Now they could literally see how many people are in a building. Was it beyond capacity? Were people standing 6 feet apart? Don't forget, it was China and the U.S. who participated in the Cooties 19 simulation as well. The same day the Military World Games began in Wuhan, China. That was event 201 on October 18th, 2019. But yeah, 102. And remember, they said that was the worst pandemic in 102 years. The last one was the Spanish flu that came out of World War. Again, Art of War 102, World War 102, Art of War, credited to a Chinese war general. A lot of these tracking devices, big tech made in China, where the Jesuits have been since the 16th century. Yeah, and again, the game should be very obvious to everyone that's being played with us. But yeah, just a reminder about this technology, guys. A lot of great things to it, but a lot of bad things too. A lot more people now, a lot less exercise, a lot less friends, a lot more social media involvement, which again, I would say probably has a direct correlation with why way more people in the last 20, 30 years are on way more prescriptions, from anti-anxiety meds to antidepressants. Again, as we get more into the tech, we get more away from nature and what humanity was once about, being social, interacting, moving the body. But yeah, just so many agendas being served. And I don't think a lot of people see it, but this should make it obvious. Learn gematria, learn the code, learn about the repetitive patterns.
You know, good video, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Zach Hubbard. Salute. Check him out. Gematria Effects News, you know what I'm saying? Check them out, man. My bad. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. You.
Click for eligibility.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual.
So, I mean, tell me that this is not corrupt. This dude, him and the billionaires at the White House, basically talking about who and what and how much they just made off the stock market crash. Tell me that's not corrupt. Tell me that's not insider trading right here.
He made $4.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad. He's a financial.
I do hope and believe that the vote today is a very strong signal to the markets, to investors, job creators, entrepreneurs, the people that make the economy run, that the Congress is going to get us on sound footing. And you can count on that, and you can bet on it. And you ought to, I think today would be a great day to buy stocks.
Is this market manipulation?
No.
Why not? If it was a plan, if it was always the plan, how is this not market manipulation?
Who knew about Trump's tariff plans? When did they know them? And what did they do with that information? The American people deserve to know. Well, Sludge is reporting some interesting transactions by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Evidently, in mid to late March, she bought $750,000 worth of bonds. Bonds tend to do well when there is market volatility. Her last purchase of $250,000 bonds was actually on March 25th, the day that Trump said that his tariff plans were, quote, set, but he hadn't yet announced them yet. The fact is, we don't know. Perhaps we will if there are investigations into exactly what happened. But the fact that we don't know and she made such suspicious investments is in itself a problem. The American people shouldn't be worried that the people that they are electing are making money off their backs. And that's why AOC and others has called for there to be an abolishment of any congressperson to trade in stocks, because Congress people, by nature of their job, often get inside information. Now, the Stock Act of 2012 was meant to protect the American people and said that Congress people are not allowed to basically inside trade on information based on their position. The fact is, nobody has ever been prosecuted under this law, despite
Of course not, because these people make the laws for their buddies.
very real evidence otherwise that could have opened up a congressperson to liability. And all the information we know is because Congress people basically report their trades. But the violation for not reporting your trade is merely $200.
And what I want to know, what we want to know, is what did Marjorie Taylor Greene know before that announcement happened? And what stocks did she and her family trade leading up to that announcement?
We need to get to the bottom of the possible stock manipulation that is unfolding before the American people, including what, if any, advanced knowledge did members of the House Republican Conference have of Trump's decision to pause the reckless tariffs that he put into place. There are several members of Congress who will be aggressively demanding answers and transparency, particularly as it relates to stock purchase decisions that may have occurred over the last few days.
If you wonder whether or not Democrats or Republicans have the American worker back, take a look at the difference between how Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC has spoken to the American people regarding Trump's chaotic tariffs. Marjorie Taylor Greene says people are panicking over the tariffs are, quote, losers and failures, but yet she disclosed over a dozen stock purchases, purchasing hundreds.
She got some explaining to do.
Of thousands of numerous stocks she bought when the market was deeply red. And then you have instead AOC and what she says about what's happening. And she posts, any member of Congress who purchased stocks in the last 48 hours should probably disclose that now. I've been hearing some interesting chatter on the floor. Disclosure deadline is May 15th. We're about to learn a few things. It's time to ban insider trading in Congress. And that's in response to a post saying NASDAQ call volume spiked minutes before the 90-day tariff pause was announced. Not a good look at all, because of course, if nobody knew or was willing to trade on that inside information, there would be no spike. AOC trying to look after the American worker or any Americans who have saved in the stock market and aren't privy.
She ain't trying, none of them are trying to look after nobody. It's just all political stuff, man.
To that kind of inside information where you see Marjorie Taylor Greene saying one thing and doing another.
I noticed that. And that's just one of another outrageous things. Imagine, do I have, no, I don't know for a fact, but would I be surprised if there were people who hours before knew exactly what Trump was going to do in rescinding his tariff proposals, understanding that the stock market would soar and you make huge amounts of money? Would I be shocked if we learned about that in the days to come? No, I would not.
Does that announcement that he gave cover to anybody who did buy stocks?
Well, what it does do, look, if you know 2 hours earlier that the stock market's going to go, what are you going to do? You're going to buy a hell of a lot of stock. You're going to invest in the stock market. But it's not only that. I mean, you got a president of the United States who is now working to give government cover to crypto, and whose family is involved in crypto, makes money by selling coins, crypto coins.
Scam coins, them scam coins that flopped. Nobody wants to talk about them scam coins that Trump just scamming his own voter base with.
Anybody can contribute, which is a direct line to the president. So, I have serious problems about all that.
Democratic Senators Adam Schiff, Elizabeth Warren, and others plan on investigation and calling out what seems to be corruption and possibly insider trading based on what Trump did regarding his pause of the tariffs. One interesting thing about his Truth Social post is how he words it. He says, "It's a good time to buy, exclamation point, exclamation point," and then he puts DJT. Well, DJT is also the sticker name for his Trump media company. And it seems that his followers took that message literally. The stock price for Trump media went up beyond what the rest of the stock market went up. And the reason why that's a problem is because that can be considered insider trading, because he is still a 53% owner of the company. And so all the Securities Act apply to him. It is in trust by his son, but
Y'all see that? Play?
company rose by 22.67%, twice as much as the broader market. This company lost $400 million last year and really shouldn't have been affected of whether or not the tariffs were imposed or paused, because it's not as if they are selling actual goods. So after he posts that Truth Social about buying and then including those initials, that company rose by $415 million that day. As a securities corporate attorney that I used to be back in the day at the big law firm, that kind of evidence of seeing a stock rise and fall based on something somebody says, an insider at the company, somebody telling you to buy that stock, that would be considered insider trading. And certainly, like we said, there's so many avenues that Democrats can investigate. The avenue of how much he told his friends, how much he told Congress people, and then specifically how much he was doing it to enrich his own pocket.
Donald Trump is trashing our economy. First, Donald Trump imposed across-the-board tariffs. Then, just a few hours ago, he dropped those tariffs to 10% on everyone and moved the tariffs up to 125% on China, up from 105% yesterday. Now, there's confusion, there's chaos. No one knows what the tariffs will be tomorrow or the next day or next week.
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. To cause the uncertainty, you know what I'm saying? To play with the market, you know what I'm saying? Give tax breaks for the rich, shut down the small businesses, throw these tariffs on these businesses and corporations so much to where they can eat up the small businesses. I'm telling you, pay attention, y'all.
Or next month. But here's what we do know. Are prices still going up? Yes. Are businesses still wary about investing? Yes. Are millions of working people still worried about their jobs, and millions of small businesses still worried about closing shop? Yes. And right before Donald Trump declared that some of his tariffs were off again, he sent out a message to his billionaire buddies. He posted, "This is a great time to buy," in all caps. Was that market manipulation? Was it corruption in plain sight? We need an independent investigation into market manipulation, because Americans need to know whether President Trump or anyone in his administration manipulated the market to benefit their donors, all while they are working for the American people and while small businesses and those working families are paying a price. It's a disaster. But here's the thing. Republicans in Congress have a chance to stop him right now. If they do nothing, they, along with Trump, are responsible for the fallout. Congress could end this dangerous trade war right now by passing my bipartisan resolution with Senator Ron Wyden to turn off the fake emergency authority that Donald Trump is using to impose his worldwide and chaotic tariffs. So I have
use an emergency on the tariffs, use an emergency on the immigrants, all these emergency acts that he's using. Pay attention, y'all. Really interesting.
Simple question for the Senate. Why aren't we passing this resolution this instant?
The American consumer and American small businesses are not out of the woods yet. Yes, Trump decided to pause the tariffs for 90 days. Who knows what's going to happen with those, but he hasn't with China. And China, of course, as we know, is a big trade partner. And that if these tariffs continue, there is going to be a big problem for the American consumer and a lot of small businesses. Now, Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's always standing up for the American consumer, the Consumer Protection Bureau was her brainchild, decides to give a very basic economic lesson to Fox News to explain to them how corporations and companies take advantage of tariffs, even if their product doesn't have a tariff. American consumers will see prices across the board increase. Take a look.
This is almost like part two. Remember our last conversation about price gouging. So now you got another way to say that corporations are doing that.
Well,
but egg prices came down, inflation came down. It seems like the corporations only gouge when you say they're gouging, and then they're unable to at other times.
So I know you don't want to listen to me on this, but listen to Jerome Powell on this. The example he gave on Friday was from the last time that Trump's tariffs went into effect. And he said there was a tariff on washing machines. No surprise, the price of washing machines went up. But the shocking part is the price of dryers went up as well, even though there was no imposition of tariffs on those. You tell me what that is.
Price gouging 101. Look how the people trying to take advantage and control the market. Look how these people are taking advantage, man. I'm telling y'all, man, I don't understand. Y'all don't get it. That's the tariff, baby.
Except for price gouging.
Tariff before the tariff.
Trying to figure that out. Unless you have a clothesline, unless you have a clothesline out back, you need the dryer, though, Senator.
Well, you need the dryer, but the price doesn't go up on dryers. The cost of dryers didn't go up.
Growing up.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Totally. I love the smell.
I love the way you're changing the subject here. That is an example.
She's right though. That's price gouging, BJ 101, man. What up? What up? You know what I mean?
What we talking about here? What's up?
I'm gonna play a little bit. I'm gonna play it a little bit.
No, you good. I heard the word price gouging. What you talking about, tariffs?
Yeah, no, this part, watch this. I'm gonna play this part real quick.
Like part two. Remember our last conversation about price gouging. So now you got another way to say that corporations are doing that.
Well,
but egg prices came down, inflation came down. It seems like the corporations only gouge when you say they're gouging, and then they're unable to at other times.
So I know you don't want to listen to me on this, but listen to Jerome Powell on this. The example he gave on Friday was from the last time that Trump's tariffs went into effect. And he said there was a tariff on washing machines. No surprise, the price of washing machines went up. But the shocking part is the price of dryers went up as well, even though there was no imposition of tariffs on those. You tell me what that is, except for price gouging.
Trying to figure that out. Unless you have a clothesline, unless you have a clothesline out back, you need the dryer, though, Senator.
Well, you need the dryer, but the price doesn't go up on dryers.
Damn, she's right though, dude. That's exactly what that is. You know what I'm saying? BJ, what you think? BJ, you there? Yo. BJ. Hold up. Hold up, yo. BJ, can you hear me? Shout out to Status Coop. Let me play this real quick. You know what I'm saying? Check them. Check it.
no matter who you are.
We should just double down and triple down like China and AI.
It's paid by you and me, right?
Live stream. I am also excited. All right, Steve, for the layman who might not understand this, before we get to Trump and his buffoonery, what is a tariff? What is the traditional purpose? Because this is dating back to like the 1800s. And why does Trump say we're getting ripped off and we need to spruce up tariffs?
Tariffs are a tax, and tariffs are not a tax paid by the other country. They're a tax paid by you and me, right? Because the United States taxes in its own currency. It doesn't tax in a foreign currency. It taxes in U.S. dollars.
That's facts. That's
so ultimately, it'll be the firms that buy the goods wholesale that pay the.
That's facts. Taxes in the U.S. currency. Yep. That's true. Let's play that back one more time.
All right, Steve, for the layman who might not understand this, before we get to Trump and his buffoonery, what is a tariff? What is the traditional purpose? Because this is dating back to like the 1800s. And why does Trump say we're getting ripped off and we need to spruce up tariffs?
Tariffs are a tax, and tariffs are not a tax paid by the other country. They're a tax paid by you and me, right? Because the United States taxes in its own currency. It doesn't tax in a foreign currency. It taxes in U.S. dollars. So ultimately, it'll be the firms that buy the goods wholesale that pay the initial tariff. And then the question will be, will they pass that cost on to Jane and Joe Public? Now, I can't imagine when you
know why they will, because the government goes hand in hand with these corporations. They're going to give them subsidies, just like they're doing Elon Musk, and they're going to give them tax breaks, and they're going to give them exemptions, and therefore, so that way they could trickle it down to us and give us the higher tax. You see what I'm saying? And raise the prices. You see what I'm saying, BJ? Does that make sense? Just like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the biggest subsidy giver I think we got right now. You know what I'm saying? The fool gets like 36, you know what I'm saying, $1 billion in subsidies, man. Why is nobody talking about him? What you gonna say?
Almost 38.
Oh yeah, yep, exactly. Why is nobody talking about that? Why is nobody why is Doge not in his contract and his corporations and companies? Why they not checking what he's doing? You see that? They're talking about welfare queen. Isn't he sound like the biggest welfare queen on the block to me?
Yep.
I mean, I have an MBA. So if you think about it, what is the primary business driver of all corporations is to maximize shareholder value.
Right.
So if they've got a 25% uptick in wholesale prices that they have to pay due to the tariffs, their responsibility is to jack up prices or cut labor or to do something to bring costs in line so that they maintain the profit margin. This is capitalism, baby, right? So it's going to end up hurting the average person, most likely, but it is a tax. And the U.S. doesn't get fat and rich on taxes in its own currency. So imagine Donald Trump telling everybody that they are going to raise tariffs paid not by the external, but by the wholesaler in the U.S., and then pass that on to us for higher prices. While
I just want to drill into this because
sure,
just because MAGA, I know you believe your leader, it's not the foreign country paying the tariff. The foreign country doesn't like come to the office and pay the tariff. It is the U.S. company that pays it, and then, as you're saying, they're not going to just eat that cost. They turn it around and increase prices on the consumer.
That's correct. And in the case of, when you understand what taxes are, it's so, like, I can't stress this enough and keep it simple, right? The United States government, there's only two ways you can get US dollars. Either A, the federal government spends that money into the economy, doesn't print it, spends it into the economy, or you take out a loan from a bank that you've got to pay interest for, and then they delete the rest of the payments except for the interest payments. It's the only two ways you get money into the economy. The idea of us being a net exporter, where we're exporting more goods and services to the rest of the world and making money that way. We haven't been a net importer or a net exporter in 50 years. I mean, we haven't been a net exporter in forever.
BJ, what do you think about that?
So this whole tax thing, and let's just be fair, in order to have replacements in the United States.
Mm-hmm. What you saying, BJ?
I think it's kind of like good point they're making. My thing is, and this is my thing, I always tell people with the tariffs and that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Break it down.
To me, it's a new conversation because I don't. I'm just taking it back to my dad's time and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, we think something is high when it's $1 or $5, $10, right?
Mm-hmm.
For we say a dozen eggs for $7 high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they look at it sometimes like, which is mighty funny to me. And this is kind of like tell you how people done got conditioned too, though. Back in the day, they said a loaf of bread cost 10 cents. Eggs might cost you what, 5? I don't know. Whatever. I'm just just throwing numbers out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But whatever the case, back then when they were growing up, it was way cheaper. Let's just put it like that.
Well,
So to be honest with you, whenever something goes up in price, that's inflation. Whatever you can call it, what it is.
right.
My thing is that back then we had people that knew if shit kept going up, they won't keep buying, right?
Right.
Shit can go up all the time right now. Really, you can call it inflation. You can call it dumb spending. Because Prada, I think, just bought Versace for $1.3 billion, something like that, right?
Right.
If you want that Prada bad enough, you can buy it. Now, me, I don't give a fuck about it.
Right.
So they kind of know, let's face it, right? They know we live in a sucker economy.
Right.
So, yeah, they taxing and stuff like that. But I always say, certain things you just don't have to get, right?
Right.
The only thing I will say about these tariffs, though, they know that certain things you won't. See, they said, no, we ain't putting no tariff on that cell phone now. We ain't gonna do that now. Because they know, well, they do know they have some foods that would buy a cell phone at a higher price, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they want that to make accessible for almost everybody. See, they got to make that accessible for almost everybody.
Facts.
See,
that's why they give you. That's why you gave you Obama phones, government phones.
They got to make that accessible for you.
Facts.
I'm gonna be dead honest with you.
Facts.
I'm gonna tell you 2 things with that. I got two theories with that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the cell phone, it's a 2-way sword. One, you wanted to have it to track people, right?
Mm-hmm.
2, if you took this cell phone away and told motherfuckers they have to pay a bigger price for a cell phone and they couldn't get, you really would probably, to be honest with you, have to start some martial law type situation.
Damn, that's true though. Damn. Everybody's
because motherfuckers would do it. As a matter of fact, while I'm saying that, let me shut the hell up, because it might happen like that. They might try it one day, because you want to see something. See how these motherfuckers nut up if they ain't got no phone.
That's so true. Or no type of entertainment. You're right.
Yeah. Cause, you know, I was met one of my boys tonight and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm talking to him about his basketball junk and all that. And cause he got a basketball camp down here for kids, you know. And they go to college and shit and all that. And they get scholarships through his program and stuff. He meet with D1 coaches, college coaches and stuff like that also, you know. But I'm in this spot talking to him, and you know, I'm looking at shit. You know, I sit down now and just observe, you know, the women around me, right? Shit. They be on the phone half the time in the damn spot, man. Shit, man. Yeah, man. Shit. Go ahead. I mean, hey man, you might get to dance with one of them, you know, get you a little cookie or something like that. You might be able to do it. I don't know, man. Take your pick.
Yeah, they do be on it, man. They don't be, man. It's changed, man. This is a different era, bro.
It's on the phone, it's in the store, it's everywhere.
Facts. Telling you, keep you entertained and attention. Those two, entertainment and attention, bro.
But I don't, like I said, you know, and while they doing that, hey, look, I can blend in real right with them. You know why? I might be on my phone too, but guess what? I'm reading stuff. I might be sending you something at the same time. They think I'm on my phone doing the same thing they doing. No, I'm doing something else.
Man.
So if you're gonna be on it, you might want to be doing some constructive research and just sitting there damn recording your damn self.
Man, that's all they doing, man. It's attention whore.
Taking selfies, man.
People just so full of themselves, man. The vanity, man.
Well, hey, look, are they full of themselves or are they depressed?
Or they're unhappy. Are they insecure? It's a good question. Good question.
But I don't think this is this is kind of like very weird.
It's really weird.
But
this is something just to put the economy in the shit, or you know, make the economy fuck up the economy, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, make the shit reset, the factory reset on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And privatize everything. You know, push the AI. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Well, there's an AI sign in Miami that says stop hiring humans.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm gonna have to play that, man.
But I've been waiting, like a lot of people starting to say, man, they say, man, what's up with them Steve Files? People been asking that, man. They trying to find out what's happening, man.
That shit is that's a distraction, dude.
Now they saying they threw out some more information on Diddy.
You saw Diddy, huh?
Hey, man.
They're trying to link him to Epstein. You see that?
Well, on the agenda, actually, tell you the truth, he is probably. Actually, that ain't no. But here go my thing. My thing is, my nephew talking to me about Diddy. I said, I don't believe Diddy locked up. That's the first part I don't think.
Facts. I don't think, man. Facts. Hell no, he ain't locked up. And then come to find out, his same lawyer is married to Luigi Mangione lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dude. It's like you can't make this stuff up, bro. You can't make this stuff up. You see what I'm saying, BJ? Like, make it make sense.
When you can't make it up, you know why? Because it's already made up.
Damn. They were saying something. I think I might have to play a Luigi clip too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about Luigi.
Yeah, man. They was talking about him he's in the news too, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna play the video, the helicopter crash in the Hudson too. We're gonna get into that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna play a couple more minutes of this, and I'm gonna play the Hudson.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
In order to spruce up production, let's just to say we're going to suddenly become this isolated North Korea version of the U.S. and we do everything in house. It takes 3 to 5 years to build out the productive capacity. So you're looking at years and years and years of higher prices. Okay, not just higher prices.
Damn, years. That's true. That's true. This is going to be for a while. This ain't just going to be like he said. What do you say? We're going to short-term pain. What do you say, BJ? You're going to feel short-term pain. This ain't going to be short-term, brother.
At least he let you know.
Damn.
Gotta give him credit for that there. Somewhat.
But because they have slashed and burned the federal government's spending, you're also talking about cutting off the spigot that allows people to thrive and survive. So we're talking about major recessionary pressures. We're talking about major opportunity, not just an opportunity, the most likely mass layoffs. And you're talking about a severe hit to the U.S. economy. You're not talking about anything good here.
So let's show some of the Donalds. Again, if you watch this whole thing, listen, I called it in 2020. Something's off with Trump. Something's off with Biden. I said he shouldn't be able to run then. I wasn't a doctor. I didn't diagnose him, but I said, there's something going on here. He's not in his prime time. A little sundowning. Well, if you watch Trump's speech, sounded like he was on some type of medicine to me. But putting that aside, Colin, let's play some of these clips before we show you the list of the percentages he's putting on the various countries.
A big price from 1789 to 1913. We were a tariff-backed nation, and the United States was proportionately the wealthiest it has ever been. So wealthy, in fact, that in the 1880s, they established a commission to decide what they were going to do with the vast sums of money they were collecting. We were collecting so much money so fast, we didn't know what to do with it.
Motherfucker talking about in the 1800s, bro. That shit sounds ridiculous, bro. Really, bro? You talking about way in the 1800s? That just goes to show we haven't had manufacturing back in this country in years, bro. 30, 40 years, bro. That's because Ronald Reagan, Carter, and your boy Bill Clinton, the treacherous trio. It don't matter. See, it's bipartisan. It don't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. They all privatize America. That's all. That's how that works.
With it. Isn't that a nice problem to have? What do you think, Marco? Good problem? Marco would love that problem. But we don't have that problem anymore, but we're not going to have it very much longer, I will tell you. But they collected so much money, they actually formed a commission to determine what they were going to do with the money, who they were going to give it to, and how much. Then in 1913, for reasons unknown to mankind, they established the income tax so that citizens, rather than foreign countries, would start paying the money necessary to run our government.
These models are amazing. Most of them are athletes who are out there killing it.
So not that Steve or I were around in the 1700s to 1913, but a quick history lesson, the bare minimum. Yeah, we were a wealthy country for the robber barons.
Facts.
For, the railroad tycoons.
Facts.
The oil magnates. There was a whole lot of poverty in America, and there was really no middle class in the 1700s, 1800s. You had the Industrial Revolution where things got a little better, but I don't know what he's talking about, that we were once a wealthy country. Yes, very consolidated at the top. Am I missing that?
So let me clue you in on the code speak that the libertarians that are supporting Trump are saying, right? what happened in 1913? The Federal Reserve Act. Okay. So this is their backdoor action to try and act like, oh no, the takeover of the country via central banking. Well, just so everybody's aware, England has a central bank, Japan has a central bank, Russia has a central bank, China has a central bank, Australia has a central bank. You get the picture, right? The point is that there's all these really fun books about blood libel and the Rothschild conspiracy that these people sit there and fap to at night, deep in the dark recesses of their mom's basement, and they talk about Rothschilds. This problem right here is the real issue, okay? What has happened, they did a income tax, and that allowed for them to collect taxes from everybody in a way that now that you have the money that's in your hand, the money that you get from your check, you can budget your life around. I'm not a fan.
But that was a horrible idea, but by the way, let's go.
Fan of it. I mean, I think you should get rid of taxes altogether on everyone making less than, say, 500,000. And I know 500,000 sounds crazy, but seriously, we only need enough taxes out there for at least on income to keep the currency going, because taxes drive the need for currency. They don't actually fund spending. So this whole thing Trump's talking about is insane. Okay. If you want to get rid of taxes for the working class, get rid of taxes for the
exactly what he said. He said taxes drive the need for currency. That's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? They don't basically, a lot of people think that so much things are being paid with your tax money, and that's not true. Maybe on the local level, but not on the federal level. You know what I'm saying? You know how things get they approve funding, they spend stuff into the economy, bro. That's how stuff gets done. That's how stuff gets paid for. You see what I'm saying? Or these billionaire people like BlackRock companies and trillionaire companies like BlackRock and Vanguard and Blackstone buying everything up, consolidating old businesses to save money, buying up everything like they're about to start doing with this. Because this basically, this tariff thing, you know what this is going to do too, BJ? This is going to close down a lot of other small businesses and make a lot of other small businesses be ate up by the big corporations. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm not gonna just say small business. I've been seeing a lot of malls closing and shit.
Exactly.
Or not closing, but at least losing a lot of the stores.
What that tell you? That says a lot. Another thing, and another reason why he stopped he paused the tariffs, because his bonds, baby, because these bonds, you know what I'm saying, the U.S. bonds, you know what I'm saying, the bonds market, that's going down. We can't have that. Dude told him to pause it, man. One of his investors, man, these people, man, or advisors, excuse me. You know what I'm saying, if you're losing your billionaire's money, guess what? They're going to tell you to do something, you're going to do it, man, because these people fund you and they funded your whack campaign. It's that simple. You talking about make America great again? Nah, man, let's make these billionaires richer again. How about that? Rich again. How about that? That's how that works. It's not checks and balances. It's just basically the billionaires balancing the checks. Y'all feel what I'm saying? It's not checks and balances. It's the billionaires balancing the check.
the working class. But this idea that you're going to raise tariffs and prices on everything, every person that has to buy goods and services, no matter who they are, will pay that extra price. It will not be the foreign countries. Because the foreign countries, they don't need US dollars. When foreign countries sell goods and services into the United States, what do? They get US dollars. Now, some of those foreign countries need US dollars to facilitate transactions for things they need to buy in the US. Because you need US dollars to buy US goods. Okay. But they don't need that money. They don't do anything. They get a statement, a bank statement. That's it. So I don't know if this is making sense. I don't want to talk like in esoteric terms. I'm not trying to be all crafty here. The bottom line is that taxes literally do not finance or fund the federal government. So the idea that they're collecting US dollars from corporations and they're rolling in this money, it doesn't work that way. Right. Literally, the banking system, there's a loop, there's a circuit inside the banking system that doesn't go out to the rest of the world. It's called a reserve. And those reserves go between banks to clear payments. When you write a check, Jordan Chariton, to your new reporter, you write that check, you're not paying her. You're sending a note to your bank, and your bank is saying, so I'm going to send this money that you've said on this check to her to put it in her account. That's all that happens here with the interbanking dollars, that reserve. The actual money on the outside, our money and stuff, my God, it's deleted once it's turned in as a tax. It doesn't do anything.
And I think it's important. We're going to get to the actual meat of who is getting the tariffs put on, including the auto industry, 25% across the board on all foreign automakers. But I think that's important because Trump is kind of sort of teasing that he just wants to get rid of the federal income tax. I don't think it's going to happen, but putting that aside, the fact that he's even teasing that kind of lends credibility to Steve and others' modern monetary theory. Because how could you get rid of the federal income tax if income taxes fund government services?
Right.
That is the belief, and that is the narrative, that income taxes fund the government. Well, if you're going to get rid of the income tax, which he's proposing, income taxes fund, if you're going to get rid of that, how would we fund services? That's the point. They don't fund. The income taxes, among other taxes, don't fund on the federal level. They don't fund services.
Well, he's saying that these tariffs, these taxes, that's what they are going to fund the government now, because that's what they did back in the old days, right? So it's hilarious. It really is. I mean, if you want to protect an industry, let's say you've got a junior industry starting up in the United States, like AI, right? I mean, China is showing you what they can do for free with state money. It's not tax dollars in China paying for their AI investment. They went ahead and just did it because that's all the US has to do too.
Right.
But because we're so full of shit about this idea that taxes fund spending, we can't get past that. So Donald Trump is playing on every idiot's dream that we're going to get rid of tax. We're going to do this because taxes fund the government. We're going to make them over there pay for the taxes. And there's just enough people out there that don't understand, that will sit there and get all excited about this. And it's devastating, actually.
Because that tariff, that's the consumer tax. It goes to the corporation, and they, you know what I'm saying, and it trickles down to the consumer. And so they're going to tax you double time now with this, because you're going to get the tax from the tariff, and their products and goods are going to go up. So that's double the tax. You see what I'm saying, BJ?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how we're happy to be taxed. We celebrate getting taxed again. That's interesting.
Devastating, because think about it. If you're poor and you've got $100 in your pocket, and that's all you, or less, right? Now all of a sudden you've got to pay additional money for everything that you get, foods, source, you name it. And honest to God, there is just not enough production in the United States to offset the kinds of things that you would have.
That's true.
Have to buy from imports. So that means people are going to have to pay that price, period.
We got 600 people watching. Smash that like button. Share this live stream.
And that'll be on other countries to help rebuild our economy and to prevent cheating. So we're going to have a minimum of cheating, and we're going to be very severe on the people that at the gate that watch the tariffs and watch the product coming in, because there's been a lot of bad things happening at the gate.
All right, let's show a chart.
I don't know, what is he talking about?
Chart of each country and their tariffs. Again, unless I'm missing something, I didn't see anything. On Canada or Mexico in this. So he's putting a 25% tariff on foreign automakers. We're going to get to the automakers part, because that's basic. There is no such thing as foreign. There's no 100% American-made car. Even cars that are manufactured in America, they get parts from Mexico and Canada. So
That's
even
right. BJ, what you think about that? See, that's another psyop with this too, man. Oh, the car, this and that, this and that. Y'all just basically doing this and talking this madness with China just to keep, you know what I'm saying, just basically to you know what I'm saying, for Elon Musk and these billionaire tech people like Larry Ellison get cornered the market with this tech stuff, and to make it to where China can't compete, because they got $10,000 EVs, electric vehicles, that are way better than them damn Teslas. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna say this: what I know. No goddamn well. That what do you call it? These cars. I knew that yeah, motor mount or something I had. I had to get some work done on my Ford one time, right? And they was like, "Oh yeah, you gotta get some work done on the Ford." I said, "Cool, I get it done." And I like, thought them get it done that day. I said, "Oh no," they said it ain't gonna be done today. They said it'll be here to like tomorrow or something. I said, "Why?" We gotta expedite the shipment from Canada for the part.
Right.
Yeah, they told me that. So yeah.
Right. I'm telling you. See, and you see how
They get a lot of their parts made in Canada.
Exactly. There's no 100% American-made car, bro. That's the psyop right there. What is Trump saying? American cars, American this, American that. There's no such thing. Psyop. You see what I'm saying? There's no such thing.
I told you, if you want to do a check, ask somebody with a mega hat, do it say made in China on it.
Damn. What'd that tell you?
I let them buy. I let them wear the hat. Hey, look. I don't care if they wear the hat. Just tell me do it say made in China.
Facts.
If it say made in China, what we talking about?
Good question.
The reality of the matter is, if I could say one thing about here, if they're telling you that it only costs $50 to make a product over there, and we paying $2,500 for it over here, we might be getting played, man.
We getting played, dude. Price gouging up the yin yang. This shit is not worth it. That grocery show is not worth it. And see, that's why that's the whole thing when it comes down to it's what's the name and basically is de-global is industrializing. You feel what I'm saying? That's why Reagan and them did that. That was the whole thing with that.
I ain't buying no shoe over $30, bro. I ain't bought a pair of shoes over $40, $30 in a couple of years, man. Man, more than a year.
I don't blame you. Smart man.
Like I was like I think the last pair of shoes I bought to play basketball in was like 25, 23, something like that. And I mean, like I said, I know I ain't trying to advocate this, but you can go to stores like Ross, Burlington, and some other stores and get the same kind of benefits you get out of the dag on your $200 Jordan, man. So you don't have to spend high money on these things you don't want to. Because think about it. What they paying for that shoe over there in China, right? You can pay $250 for a pair of Jordans that's probably made for almost 100% less in China.
We getting played, brother. But see that lets me know too. That's I tell people that the tariffs I talk about it's going to bring manufacturing back and all that BS because you see what I'm saying. Basically, that's the whole reason why they left these places, left America. You know what I'm saying, for the cheaper prices and the cheaper wages. That's the whole point. They're not going to come back here and take a hit because some tariffs. That's going to basically, and the funny thing about it, for some tariffs, that's going to affect you and not them. The countries don't get affected by the tariffs. You do. The consumer and the corporation does. The corporation trickle that down to the consumer. People got a misunderstanding what all this stuff really means, man.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
Howard Lutnick.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Some people call him Lucky Lutnick. But
Commerce Secretary, right?
yeah. He actually, I think he made a point. I think he said in the manufacturing industry, you can check it out, but I think he said they want to bring AI into the manufacturing industry.
Yep, he did say that. Yep. Oh yeah. Damn, he did say that the other day.
Yeah, so they might be bringing some of them factors back, but they ain't trying to do it. They ain't doing no human though.
Human, exactly.
For the most part.
You know how long
that's gonna
take? That's gonna take years to bring them back anyway. We're gonna say.
So, but he also said that Americans don't like to buy cheap goods or something like that too. So I gotta take that in one or two ways. Either he's saying you don't like cheap stuff, or he's saying that they gonna want to raise the prices and you don't have a problem with it. You gotta take that as a two-way street. Because you don't know which way he meant.
I'm gonna play that in a little while. I'm gonna play that. Let me finish this play, then I'm gonna play that clip right after this. I'm going to the Hudson thing. So yeah, the London. Okay, yeah, saying that that's right. They're gonna bring AI.
Diehard MAGA. These were the people who went from Obama to Trump, back to Biden, now back to Trump. Again, I'm for some form of U.S. protectionism, but this isn't a smart, targeted form of U.S. protectionism. Before you go, Steve, I want to play another clip from Trump.
That's why, effective at midnight, we will impose a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles. Thank you.
Are taxes still on your to-do list? Get them done for you. We'll match you with the right tax expert.
Okay, so we talked about that. Let's play another.
European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company.
The government did that. You see how they were trying to make it seem like, oh, we did that, we was in that. Well, the government did that. That's what Ronald Reagan and them did. That's what Jimmy Carter did. That's what Bill Clinton did. What you complain, and everybody's the scapegoat to America, to these presidents and these politicians, because they're the ones that do the bidding. They do the shit and they use everybody else as a scapegoat and put the blame on everybody else.
Is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei of one of the great companies of the world.
Holding up the poster that it looks like a sixth grader made. Again, I don't see how this is going to storm manufacturing back to America.
Hell no, it won't.
No, not at all. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I mean, you've got to have investment in this country to be able to do that. And the problem is that once you cut the spigot off on the federal government, and what have they done? They have literally slashed and burned at Musk. What is Musk's charter? Try and bring trillions of dollars of savings down? Savings. Why? The country that creates its own money, why is he trying to save it? It's fucking the dumbest fucking thing. God, it's fucking stupid.
I want to read this tweet next.
That's a good point. We create our own currency, do our own money. So what are you saving? What is he trying to save? There's no taxpayers' money because none of that stuff is spent. None of that stuff pays for anything. The taxpayers' money doesn't pay for all that stuff. All the government does, you know what I'm saying? They go through Congress and all that, and it goes to the Treasury, and it gets spent into the existence. It gets spent into the economy. You see the scam, BJ? You see the lies that they've been telling us this whole time? Oh, it's your taxpayers' money pays for this and that. On the local level, yeah, but not on the federal level, man. That's just not how that works. Everything's a lie. Everything's a scapegoat. Blame China, blame Mexico, blame the immigrants, blame everybody but, you know what I'm saying, the actual politicians and the billionaires that put this shit into the ground. That makes sense, BJ? BJ, that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me get to play the Howard Lutnick thing real quick. I think I had Status Coop fucking played that the other day. What's he doing? How you spell his name? Damn.
Lutnick.
Oh yeah.
Lutnick.
Industrial revolution to happen in America. Why would a factory that was making cars in Michigan move to Canada? Because I tell you why, because they did it because there weren't unions in these locations. There will be a rebalancing of those who make things in cheap labor markets, figuring out how to make them here. When Donald Trump yesterday said we have about $5 trillion of committed investment to America, $5 trillion, that means people are going to start building factories right now. And that means all that construction work begins now. That starts to employ Americans today. You're going to see plants being built, factories rebuilding. All shifts are going to be running hot across America now. You're going to see employment.
Okay, what's the name of this policy? What's the name of the policy then? What's the name of? I never heard no policy. What's the name of it? What's the name of this policy he's talking about? Under what name? Under what act? Under what? You see what I'm saying? It sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. What it sound like to you?
Leaping starting today. Apple says it's going to come back and build $500 billion worth of plants.
Why would they do, BJ? Why would they do that? Aren't they moving to India? Why would they move back to the U.S. when they can move to India? BJ, you hear me? BJ. You hear what I said? Yo.
Equipment here in America. Do you think it's going to be with 100,000 people like they do in China? No. It's going to be robotics, and it's going to have 10,000 people. But those 10,000 people are going to fix the robots. They're going to, these are different kind of robots. These are the ones that can literally build things. If you go to China and you look at the factories, they have hundreds of thousands of 19 to 21-year-olds screwing in little screws on iPhones. Obviously, a computer and a robot can do that. And we just had to wait for the...
Damn, a computer and a robot can do it? Fuck the 19-year-olds. That's what he's saying.
AI technology boom to be here now, to let us compete with all that cheap labor all around the world. The factories being built in America are huge.
That takes years. And you've said that...
She's right. It does take years. She's full of, they're full of it. They're full of shit. Oh, they're building the factories right now, but it's going to take years to make, though. Will Trump still even be in office? We don't be asking these questions, man.
Robots are going to fill those jobs. So those aren't
No, it's
union
really automated
worker jobs.
It's automated factories, but the key is who's going to build the factories, who's going to operate the factories, who's going to make them work. Great American workers. You know,
You
we are
said
going to
robots
replace
on other
the
networks. You said
armies
that's a
of
fact.
millions of people. Well, remember, the army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones. That kind of thing is going to come to America. It's going to be automated, and great Americans, the trade craft of America, is going to fix them, is going to work on them.
Yeah, this dude sound like he's full of it, man. Yeah, he's full of ish. So let me play this Hudson crash real quick, man.
This conversation, we want to warn our viewers, we are getting some video of the moment of impact. This is disturbing video. We do want to show you, as we do know this investigation is just going to get
look at
underway.
that.
Wow.
That would suggest to me they had lost all aerodynamic forward momentum. That is just astonishing. Very often in helicopter crashes, they try to auto-rotate down. In other words, they try to use the blades as almost a feathering device that allows them to land safely. That is completely out of control. That is going down like a rock. I don't see any. And look at that. It looks as if maybe as you play it, are the blades moving or not? It almost looked like the blades.
It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. I'm not sure those blades are moving.
Yeah.
That kind of evidence is what investigators will be looking for to give them into any clue into at all into what happened. And keep in mind, they don't want to just solve this particular crash mystery. They also want to, if they can, learn lessons. In other words, I don't know what kind of a chopper this is, but is there some sort of a problem with that chopper that they need to immediately identify and spread the world to chopper operators around the world to be looking for this problem? We simply don't know, but that kind of photographic and video evidence is really powerful.
And Tom, apparently the eyewitness said that the blades had actually come off of this helicopter before that moment.
Listen, I'm not a pilot at all. I've just spent a lot of time covering crashes. I will tell you that, again, to underscore, very often initial reports and eyewitness reports can be wrong. But it would almost seem that that eyewitness report is consistent with that video because I don't see those blades turning and I see no forward momentum. It seems like that just fell like a rock. Clearly, the NTSB is going to be looking at that as well. This was very close, by the way, I should have mentioned, very close to the Holland Tunnel there in New York. And if you are if you don't live in New York, if you don't go to New York very often, if you look at a map of New York City, north is up to the in the top. The East Side River is on the right, the Hudson River is on the left, and New Jersey is on the other side of the Hudson River. So this is very close to the Holland Tunnel, connecting New Jersey to New York. And there is an awful lot of helicopter traffic, as you know, up and down the Hudson and up and down the East River.
Yeah, you can just imagine how devastating it would have been had it crashed into the Holland
Manhattan.
Tunnel. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
Interesting. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Hold up. Hold up. Let me see. Fair use.
Problem amongst most helicopters. The helicopter is a jet turbine powered Bell 206, which is a very common passenger helicopter. This particular helicopter was used to give tourists an unforgettable experience of the New York skyline. The tourists on board was Agustin Escobar, his wife, and their 3 children. Escobar was the CEO of the Spanish division of the technology company Siemens. Siemens is a massive conglomerate that has its hands in pretty much every aspect of technology. They had reportedly just arrived earlier that day to New York on vacation and decided to take a helicopter ride. The flight started at the downtown Manhattan heliport before getting up close and personal with the Statue of Liberty. From there, it climbed and turned northbound up the Hudson River. There is footage online purporting to show that the helicopter is acting erratically. However, that footage isn't even of the same model of helicopter, and it's not clear if that was on the same day or even in the same location. The GPS tracking information, on the other hand, shows that this was a completely normal tourist flight up the Hudson River. The pilot made several radio calls along the journey, indicating that they were at appropriate altitude and location.
All Ranger, being the Travis southbound 900. All Ranger, Lincoln Tunnel southbound 1.0. Long Ranger, Steven, southbound 900.
In congested airspace where there's no air traffic control, it's common for pilots to make radio calls with only their aircraft type and not their call sign, as this is much more useful to other pilots. At no time during the radio calls was anything ever amiss. Just as the helicopter was passing the Holland Tunnel, it fell out of the sky. There were no other aircraft in the area at the time, but in that video, there are some crucial details that can give us some insight into what might have happened. The first thing we might notice is that the helicopter is upside down with no tail boom. The engine mount also appears to be missing. In the other side of the frame, you can see what appears to be the rotors and gearbox still spinning. Two other videos taken from another angle show just how long these rotors kept flying. But that begs the question, how can the main rotors and the tail separate from the aircraft at the same time? But to understand that, we first need to know a little bit about how a helicopter's main rotor system works. Many helicopters, including the Bell 206, use a semi-articulated mast system. The design features a hub attached to a pivot. This allows for the main rotors to tilt semi-independently of the main aircraft body. This is a very useful property for maneuverability. To accelerate, the rearward rotor blades produce more lift, causing the rotors to tilt forward. When they're tilted forward, some of the lift is used as thrust, causing the helicopter to accelerate. With the helicopter accelerating and the body mainly hanging from the main rotors, it'll tend to tilt forward as well to match the rotor blades. In normal flight, this happens smoothly and nearly imperceptibly. There are a lot of other deep complexities around a helicopter's flight systems, but this is enough to understand what might have caused this crash. There is a condition helicopters like this can get into called mast bumping. This happens when these rotors hit their maximum possible tilt angle. That is, the helicopter's hub bumps into the mast. In normal flight, this should never happen. While helicopter designers usually include a tolerance to prevent the rotors from hitting the tail, there's still another catch. Normally, when a helicopter's blades are under load, they will tend to bend upwards, but in some circumstances, such as in rough air, those blades can end up bending downwards. With mast bumping occurring and the blades bending downwards, they can impact the tail, severing it. With that amount of impact, there's certainly enough force to dislodge the engine from the rest of the aircraft. And from there, the rest is history. But what causes mast bumping? One cause is severe turbulence. If air is moving vertically faster on one side than the other, it can cause the rotors to tilt uncontrolled. But the weather on that day wasn't particularly bad, meaning this isn't likely the cause. Mast bumping can also occur from various types of pilot inputs, especially aggressive inputs. For instance, if the pilot pushes the cyclic all the way to one direction, it can cause mast bumping. But why might the pilot be applying aggressive inputs? There were no other aircraft in the area, but what if there were birds? We all remember the Miracle on the Hudson, where Sully Sullenberger landed his Airbus on the Hudson River after striking a flock of geese. Right now is a migratory period for many birds who would be passing through the New York area. The footage we have right now is too grainy to tell, but it is a possibility. Another question that people have asked is why the helicopter didn't sink after hitting the water. This particular helicopter, and many other tourist helicopters in the New York area, are equipped with a flotation system on their skids. These allow helicopters with engine problems to land softly on the water. Some of these systems are even able to automatically deploy. In some of the footage from after the accident, you can see these bags inflated. Despite the helicopter going down in such a busy area, none of the other air traffic saw the accident. The police and air traffic control called out on the frequency asking for other pilots to keep an eye out for the downed aircraft.
Flight helicopter to river traffic. Any reports of an aircraft down Hudson River? Not that we've heard of. Be advised, we got reports, multiple calls for an aircraft down, possibly Pier 26. Please keep it advised. We're en route right now, Prospect Park. We'll be in sight. We'll be heading up north, up the Hudson, and we can inform you anything we see.
Fine as where was that?
Be advised, we got reports, possible aircraft down, Pier 26, Hudson River. Please keep your eyes open, guys.
All right, we're looking.
Roger.
Pier 26 is close to what one?
All right, river traffic, be advised, we got a... We're trying to get flight helicopter on station, Holland Tunnel, 500 and below. River traffic, a flight helicopter, Holland Tunnel, 300 on station. Flight helicopter, river traffic, be advised. You do have an aircraft down, Holland Tunnel. Please keep your eyes open for anybody in the water.
You guys, gentlemen?
Say again?
You got a tail number?
Negative. We do have one confirmed aircraft in the water. Looks like a 206. Please keep your eyes open. You guys see anything in the water, please let us know.
Hey, we're just circling over Holland now. Hey, Finest, do you know what's going on over there by the Holland Tunnel? The ship went down. Okay, it's one of my company. Is it Nyan? It's New York helicopter. Well, he said he flew the floats. I haven't seen it yet. Looks like it was okay. Okay. Did you see people out of the ship? I'll give you a heads up in a moment. Fill out the link in here. I'll be there in about a minute. Okay, sounds good.
Zero traffic, got helicopter traffic. Finest just north of the Holland Tunnel, 700 for 1,000, climbing.
I can't really make it out. It's behind the boat. Yes, it's in the water. There's a bunch of people on the pier, and there's a boat right next to it. I believe they pulled them out.
It looks like the floats are blown. Negative, no, it's not. Right side up.
Oh, no.
We know now that there were no survivors. I'll be keeping my eye on this one and providing future updates.
All right, guys, my special guest tonight is...
My bad, y'all.
Yeah.
Word. Then you see that? Then that helicopter crash is crazy though, man. It's weird how it just went down like that, man.
Yep, sure is.
Hold up. So what were you saying about the what's the name? Excuse me, with the Karmelo Anthony thing. Okay, what were you saying about? I'm gonna replay that video. Hold up. I want you to break it down. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. About the Karmelo Anthony thing. Hold up. Oh, my bad. Where's the video at? My bad. I'll play it. Hold up. Was it what was it? What was the action? What was it? What's his name? Or what's it called? The Action Network. Action Network. Hold on.
No. Oh, NAGN. NG. Yeah, that's NGAN or something like that. Yeah.
So you said NGAN.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hold up.
Line of work, and we have been
So who are these cats? BJ. So this is basically the black, like another Black Lives Matter, right? They're basically
Black Lives Matter.
They'll let you know too, right there, what this event is, man, and why would they get involved? Basically, that's letting you know right there.
representing families for the last 10 years from an advocacy standpoint to get to the bottom of this situation. The Next Generation Action Network, since the last past week, have gotten thousands of calls regarding this situation, and making sure that our organization was involved in this situation because of the growing tension of racism and bigotry involving with the case. I want to start off by saying that I appreciate the deputy chief, John Stretch, from being able to come here to meet with us, as well as the assistant police chief, Darren Stevens. These are two individuals who are currently over the investigation that is currently going on in Frisco ISD. Of course, let's start off in the proper way. I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as president and founder of the Next Generation Action Network, the largest human and civil rights organization in North Texas. Today, we had a meeting with the leadership of the Frisco Police Department to discuss the matter of urgency in escalating racial threats and bigotry and online hate directed at the Anthony family. Let me be clear. The Anthony family cannot leave their home because of the growing threats towards their safety. Their personal address has been exposed. They have received.
You see, so look, this is how you know it's a double standard too, because remember when Daniel Penny got off, what did they invited him to the Trump and them invited him to the game. Damn, you see the double standard? You see the psyop though? You see the experiment that they played on us, BJ?
Yeah.
How come Trump and them ain't talking about this case? Psyop, baby. And +2 is a double standard. That's what they want. They want, you know, they want to put this perception. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play a couple more minutes. I'm gonna go to something else.
Graphic and racist threats. They are being targeted with violence and simply because their child is in the center of this tragedy. We are here just for justice. This justice must be fair and impartial and protected from biases. We cannot allow racism and bigotry to divide us. We cannot allow white America to decide when and how Black people can speak up against oppression. We do not pull the race card, we live it. Yes, this case is a tragedy. Anytime a child is lost, we mourn as a community. Our heart goes out to the family of Austin Metcalf, but we do not erase the right of the Anthony family to be protected and heard and treated with dignity. That's why today we spoke with the Frisco Police Department leadership to demand answers. We need to know what steps are being taken to protect the Anthony family, the strategies of the threats that's being spreaded, and how Frisco Police is ensuring that Karmelo Anthony's Sixth Amendment right, fair and public trial, is fully respected. Let's make it clear that absolutely we have the full permission and trust of the Anthony family and authorized for the Next Generation Action Network to speak today. Today in this meeting, we talked about and was able to give them graphic images of what this family has had to deal with for the last couple of days. It is sad. These graphic images not only display children with knives, Black children with knives stuck in their head, the Anthony family's address. We saw when this case first started that people were putting online that when Section 8 was accepted into the Frisco neighborhood, that became the lead of the downfall of Frisco. We have saw so many different hateful images, just hateful things. And the Next Generation Action Network wants to reiterate that Karmelo Anthony has a right to a fair trial, unbiased, and removed of racial hate and bigotry. I want to make it very clear.
All right, shout outs. All right, let me play something else. You know what I'm saying? But we all get this. All right, so you know what I'm saying? Basically, you know what I'm saying? So you're saying BJ basically funded on this side. What was the other side you were saying the funding on? BJ? Funded on this liberal side, right? And on the conservative side, right? Who do you say was in charge of funding on the conservative side? BJ. BJ. BJ, yo. BJ. All right. Ex-Abercrombie CEO Mike Jeffries ruled unfit to trial in sex trafficking case due to his dementia. Wow, sounds like some BS. Let's go. Let's play it. Fair use.
Paying rent. There wasn't much left over. Every month I put whatever I could have in.
Mazda?
The Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid.
Stand-up is like being a boxer. You have to be in training. You can't just walk up there and do it. So I've been in training for 40 years. I need a break. And I'm tired of the travel. I'm tired of dragging my ass out of bed on Saturday morning to go to some place after I worked so hard on real time all week. Maybe I'll go back to it. But, you know, I have a podcast. I have a television show. I'm not retiring. And I don't know where this started about I'm getting rid of real time. They're going to have to drag me off of that show. What I was saying.
If you're looking for the one, find it on Realtor.com.
Sorry about that.
Find the one with a short commute to work.
Here's how bad the Democrats f***ed up. Trump is cool now. He's not just the most powerful guy in the world and just made himself like the richest. He's actually kind of at 78. Yes. I mean, rappers like him.
Okay. Former Abercrombie Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries has been declared mentally unfit to stand trial on charges related to alleged international sex trafficking operation, according to court filing made public on Thursday. 80-year-old was arrested October, charged with organizing a sex party with male prostitute or models where he coerced into sexual acts, paid sexual, and piled with drugs. In newly released legal documents, Jeffries' attorney Brian Barber revealed multiple medical evaluations in recent months, including Jeffries is suffering from severe dementia, including Alzheimer's disease and other cognitive implements. Yeah, right. This sounds like but Puffy ain't none. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuse for him though. I'm telling you, man, this is all a psyop, man. These are all psyops to make these people the victim, to make these people. You see what I'm saying? They show power. These situations show the power and show that we have no power. Get it? It don't matter how much money you don't got. It don't matter how big of a CEO or how much power you supposedly say you have. Narrative is narrative. You see what I'm saying? Oh, bad. Jeffrey's condition and deteriorated in the point to where it now requires constant supervision, supposedly, right? Care, according to the psychiatrist hired the defense, an expert in the fourth prosecution region, similar. We stating that Jeffrey's condition is almost certain to deteriorate further. In light of the conclusion, Jeffrey's legal team asked the court to hospitalize him in for a period of 4 months to assess and whether may eventually be deemed competent and participate in legal proceedings. Prosecutors have not opposed the motion. Why not? Why would you not oppose that? See, this is all staged, man. This dude's gonna get off. He's gonna get off. So the prosecution is cool with that. And see, from these great, these. It's all stage, man. You know, it wasn't the same for none of these people. OJ wasn't the same for none of these people, man. It wasn't the same kind of smoke, man. I mean, the same kind of energy for none of these people. You see what I'm saying? Right? Interesting. BJ, what you think about that? Did you hear that? Anyway, yeah, I'm about to get my butt off here, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been on here for a minute, man. Shout out to y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to BJ. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, Doc Boss, everybody that came in here. You see what I'm saying? Salute to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that came in and represented. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for BJ for coming on. Y'all could shout out King BJ. You know what I'm saying? Bernard Johnson, King BJ on Instagram, King BJ on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? King BJ Fitness. You know what I'm saying? Salute for him coming on. Y'all can hit me back. You know what I'm saying? XX Frank Nitty XX on YouTube and also on Instagram, and Frank Jones 815. Yeah, man. So you know what I'm saying? You got to be aware of these psyops, man. These false flag operations too, man. And this stuff is just shaping our public opinion, man. And meanwhile, these people are changing court case law by being charged in the case of a court of public opinion. You see what I'm saying? So that lets you know a lot of this stuff is contrived and staged, man, and scripted. The government is all in on it. You see what I'm saying? But next time, y'all, so then salute. I'm gonna do a show on Wednesday, and stay watchful, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Salute, man. Thanks for tapping in. All right.